What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch Tru Heel Heat.
All right, hello, Tru Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion NJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast poor, you're listening to Tru Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
What's up, Tru Heel Heat? Tru Heel Heat. What's up? Tru Heel Heat. All hands is on me.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today for the presidential induction speech of Sydney Tanahashi, the president of Tru Heel Heat. You have come on a glorious day on our presidential campaign. We have reached a unanimous decision. I will continue my reign as president of Tru Heel Heat. Hiroshi Tanahashi is now the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. All Japan Pro Wrestling has opened the forbidden door for WWE. WWE wants to re-sign Cody Rhodes. WWE has re-signed Charlotte Flair. Bayley seems like a four horsewoman. Reunion's about to happen. Yeah, I'm going to talk about all these things as well as the rest of my presidential election and campaign. On this episode of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, Mr. Producer, sir, hit the intro for the president. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 256. New Japan president, re-sign spree. Couldn't decide which one I wanted to choose. And we're in the holiday spirit. It is the day before Christmas. And we are here with the second to last.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Yay.
There you go, George the Animal still. We are here on the second to last Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast of 2023. What a crazy year it has been. And we got a lot to discuss in the wrestling world. as per usual, here on a Saturday, right here on the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. You're welcome to Tru Heel Heat. And of course, we're going to be discussing the latest wrestling news, including the shocking news that Hiroshi Tanahashi has been appointed president of New Japan Pro Wrestling following the departure of Takia Abari. You got All Japan Pro Wrestling working with WWE. We just got that news maybe like an hour before we went live here. WWE wanting to re-sign Cody Rhodes after re-signing Bayley and Charlotte Flair this week in the lead up to presumably a Four Horsemen woman reunion. And we got the recap of this week in wrestling with AEW, ROH, New Japan. You got WWE and much, much more. And of course, the co-host match of the week. We're going to be joined by a very special guest at the 12 o'clock hour. But for now, you know who I am with. Everyone's favorite elf, the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love. How you doing?
Hey, what's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Happy holidays, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad.
Good morning, guys. What's going on? Happy to see you all this morning or evening, wherever you are. Happy to chill with you guys for the next couple of hours. What's going on, Sydney?
Oh, now I'm Sydney. Now we putting the
boss.
No, Sydney Tanahashi.
That's what I'm saying. You said Sydney at the beginning of the show, so I'm going with Sydney too, boss. Like, come on.
Sydney Tanahashi, the ace.
Okay, so I have to say like the whole thing, like it's like one word,
like a pimp named Slipback.
Okay, got it.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
Sydney Tanahashi. That's what you could call me if you're gonna call me by my government. It has to be Tanahashi at the last name.
No
but yes, we got a lot to discuss in the wrestling world. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all you filthy animals out there. Happy New Year if you're watching. Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. I think just ended, but yeah, Happy Hanukkah. All that good stuff.
Just ended. Yep.
All the good stuff. We are here. If we're in the festive spirit, as you see here, but we appreciate y'all for joining us across the board. Show that appreciation back by dropping the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off. Feel free to sound off in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, it is the holiday season. You could send a super chat donation.
People is broke.
Yes, we
broke.
Out.
I'm like, my pockets is dry.
I was just telling our producer, I was like, this was the year I stopped buying gifts for adults. Like all my nephews that used to get gifts. Pretty much they're like the first 20 years.
They're not buying you shit.
They ain't gonna buy me shit. I mean, they got two of them got kids now. So like
so there you go. That's it.
The youngest got a car now, so he ain't spending nothing on me. So yeah.
Definitely. Yep. It's a wrap. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't buying them gifts. I was like, the only adult who gets gifts is my missus and my mom.
My mama. Yep, that's it.
That's it. And my mom said she don't want a gift. She want her money back. So all right, mom, I got your money. I placed the bet and the parlay hit. So mom, you got a Merry Christmas on the way. We got plenty of people in the chat with us. We appreciate y'all for joining us. We got Vala B who says nice hair there. Sid, appreciate that. We got Eric Isaac who says, hey guys, season's beatings, a slamming new year as well. We got Vala B saying Merry Christmas, THH fam. We got Bell who says happy holidays to all, especially Japan, who apparently chose violence in the last 24 hours. No, they're opening their arms. Bringing in Tanahashi. Come on now. We got Frantic World who says, what's up, THH in chat? Happy holidays. And pro wrestling is ending 2023 with a bang. As always. We got Queen Monet who says, hey guys, happy holidays. How you doing, Monet? One of our great members in the chat, along with Vala B as well.
Yes.
We got Belle who says, nice to be with you in my last 48 hours before I go into my food coma on Monday.
Hey, listen, Belle, I'm not mad at you.
Enjoy the festives.
I plan on
We got
being married till the new year.
I
Cheers.
plan on being drunk on some coquito. That's what I plan on doing. We got RP Jesus who says, "Morning crew, saw Tanahashi ain't done saving New Japan Pro Wrestling. Go President Ace." We got some Merry Christmas and a Merry Christmas.
Hey, Krssi, man, I like that. Thank
Krssi miss.
you.
I like that. We gotta make the t-shirt for next year.
Yeah, right.
We keep sounding off in the live chat. Like I said before, those super chat donations so important. We're a self-funded channel here, so every little bit that you give back goes to contributors that you see on screen. Or as Jimmy Macaram always likes to say, "Nigga, we broke. Please help.
Right.
Please put our hands
Can
out."
someone
Please.
make me one of those like Funko pop figure things that everyone keeps making? The little pop figures. Everyone keeps making them. I don't know. They look cute on Twitter and everything. Everyone
You
keeps
want
making
one
their
of
own.
yourself?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank
There you
you.
go. There's an idea for the holidays. We got our Tru Heel roll call, how we start off every edition of our flagship podcast. Our Tru Heel Trinity, our top 3 conversation starters on the Tru Heels group page. It's the same as last week. We got Randy Trevor Lewis at 3. We got Joe Bellini at 2. And Stewie Palmer at number 1. Our Patreon backers, we got Vala B, Alan Weinstein, Nick Jackson, Alex, Professor Chris. We got Austin K, Robert, Steve, 5th Generation Cartney, Ladarius, John, aka WrestleScopes, Dan, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus Ryan, James, Allen, Santo, Queen Monet, Christopher, and Victoria Kidd, Nick Tim, and our newest Patreon backer, Michael Wright. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship, which ends next Saturday with AEW World's End. So get on board.
Already?
Get on board. We're ending another season as we start off 2024 with Wrestle Kingdom with our next prediction season. So
What day is Wrestle Kingdom?
January 4th, always. Every year.
Oh, every year is always on the same day.
It's always on January 4th, yeah.
So that's a Friday.
No, that's a Thursday.
Thursday. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out.
Be waking up early on a Thursday.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be like the Thursday into Friday. I'm like, cool, can I work from home that day? So I'm good that day. No. All right, we're gonna figure this out.
Killed you. We got to start off every flagship podcast, how we usually started off with what we miss, and we're gonna start off with the TK verse with everything AEW and Ring of Honor. AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash was this past Wednesday. They did 782,000 viewers on the show. So the first time in a while, though, they're under 800,000. Not the best, and I always tell Jimmy it's a reflection of the week prior. So Jimmy was down on last week's show, and he thought that last week's show was going to do bad rating, and they did a really good rating. I was like, that's a reflection of the week prior being really good. And I was like, well, if you thought last week's show was bad, then next week's show is going to do a bad rating, and as predicted, it did under 800,000. But it was a really good show. You had the ending of the Gold League over in the AEW Continental Classic. In the main event, you had Jon Moxley losing to Switchblade Jay White in a terrific bout between these two guys. Jay White earning 3 points, 12 points overall during the group stage of the AEW Continental Classic, and he makes it a 3-way tie at top of the Gold League. After earlier in the night, you had Swerve Strickland defeating Roosh in a very good, hard-hitting opener.
We got a lot of matches this week, and it's really hard to like narrow it down to 5, friend.
Well, that's what makes our job difficult here. If anybody can do it, it would be easy.
Right. Well, yeah.
Swerve gets his 12 points, and he advances to face White and Moxley in the 3-way Gold League Finals next week. Finally, in the last Gold League matchup, you had Mark Briscoe pick up his first win of the Continental Classic, beating Jay Lethal in a great matchup. But man, the crowd, you would have thought this was for the whole tournament. The way the crowd responded, because Mark Briscoe has become our next lovable underdog babyface. He is the next in line. Eddie Kingston is starting to get a push. So
Eddie
now
Kingston,
there
yep.
needs to be someone to fill that void, and that's Mark Briscoe right now. We are creating the Mount Rushmore of underdog baby faces for AEW. It's Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin, Mark Briscoe, and we need a fourth face. Put it
Yeah.
in the chat. Let us know in
He's
the
making
chat.
his brother proud, bro.
He is
I
fighting with
mean,
that spirit.
fighting with yes, absolutely.
We got Roderick Strong be Commander in a fun matchup as well, with that crazy ending with the end of Heartache. You also had Rio pick up a win over Saraya to become the #1 contender to face timeless Tony Storm for the
That match was so
AEW.
sloppy. Oh my god, it was. Oh Jesus, Tony
To
Storm was the
face
best part.
Oh, Tony Storm was great. Great on commentary. Taz, you're my favorite landlord. I hear they call you the human duplex machine.
He said, yes, I am.
Where's Rio's pipe? I'm sure she can help you out with your plumbing, Mr. Seaman Duplex Machine. So Rio will face timeless Tony Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship at AEW World's End next Saturday. Timeless Tony Storm came in to confront Rio after the match. They brawled for a bit before Mariah May blasted Rio with the title, and Tony Storm acted like she didn't know who the fuck she was.
Right.
MJF had an in-ring confrontation with Samoa Joe, the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship, who accused him of being the devil, until the henchmen came out and the devil challenged the two to defend the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship next week. And then we got a better segment as MJF was backstage and found one of the henchmen's masks in front of the Mogul Embassy locker room. He confronted Prince Nana, which led to a confrontation with none other than Swerve Strickland. And this was a fantastic backstage segment. Detailing these two guys' history on the independent scene, their WWE past with MJF getting a tryout and getting rejected while Swerve got a contract and signed, and teasing a potential big time world title matchup for 2024. Krssi Love, we'll start right there with that. Samoa Joe came in and interrupted what was that great backstage segment. What did you think about that confrontation between Swerve and MJF? And when do you think we will see an inevitable matchup between these two top stars?
I mean, it gave me chills to see the both of them together. And they were going at it like you got one, then I got one. It's like it was like neck and neck for them to. Very chilling to see. I can't wait to see when he will get to that next level for the championship. Because he's there. If anything, he's there since he's in this continental thing right now. But I think he's at that level where he can definitely like be the next big star and carry the company to like big things.
Absolutely. I mean, Swerve has just been on the rise. More and more people keep saying he just feels like they're Stone Cold Steve Austin, like the guy that he probably wasn't supposed to be one of the pillars of the company or one of the top stars of the company, but he's just so undeniable, has so much talent, and this is the place where he kind of just has broken out to a new level. And that as soon as these guys went face to face, I was like, oh yes, this is what I've been wanting. This is what I've been wanting.
Yep.
But talking about the other big topic from AEW Dynamite, how do you think the Gold League will pan out with Jon Moxley, Jay White, and Swerve Strickland? And I heard you talking about the main event. What did you think about Moxley and White on the show?
It's so sad, but these shows have been delivering like such good matches. Just people are not watching them. But yeah, the main event was just like hard hitting, and then to see Jay start dancing at the end, I was like, let's go.
Jay had me rolling.
Like, come on, let's go. Come on. Like, come on. Like,
even did the.
Yeah, exactly. It was so good because it's like, he's the heel, but it's like, that's another heel. So it's like so good that we have these heels like now going against each other. It's like you're rooting for one of these bad guys to win.
So who do you think wins next week? Is it going to be Moxley? Is it going to be Switchblade? Or is it going to be Swerve?
I'm still going with Swerve. It should be Swerve. The other two don't.
I'm sticking with my original prediction for the Gold League was a Swerve win. I'm going to stick with it. But man, it's tough.
It's hard.
It's
It's
tough.
really hard, though.
It's tough.
Yes.
I feel like Switchblade got the big win on this show, so I don't think he's gonna win. Even though I feel like him versus Eddie Kingston would be a very interesting final, with their history, with Eddie beating him and being the reason why he couldn't wrestle in New Japan anymore, and then him beating Eddie in the finals to win a New Japan title and get his way back in the door there, kind of is a good story as well. So yeah, I feel like Switchblade, after this win, he seems more viable of an option than he did the week prior.
Right. I agree.
We got in the chat here a super chat donation from our good brother Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B. Always appreciate the support, good brother. He says, get that Christmas bread. My feeling is that Cody news is WWE want to lock him down for a longer contract than maybe he wants, and he's going to play the contract game. We're going to talk about that when we get to the WWE verse of all of our news here. But all I will say, since you were kind enough to send us a super chat donation, I think that if Cody does decide to play the contract game or try to pin AEW against WWE, he's going to be inevitably playing himself to me. Because you're not going to win at WrestleMania if your contract if your contract is not re-up before WrestleMania 40, you're not going to win that match.
Meaning that if he plays the contract game, if he keeps playing along, they'll make you lose regardless.
Yeah, he'll lose another WrestleMania.
No,
that would just be,
and that'll be just like, you're like, no, it's time to go, friend. Like, go back. They don't believe in you, friend. They don't see it.
I'm gonna have hope for Cody to not play the contract game, because I don't think Cody wants to return to AEW. I think he wants to stay in WWE. So you're just better off just kind of re-upping, signing it maybe. If they want to sign you to an additional 3 years, they want to sign you to an additional 5 years. They are paying everybody some TKO money, it seems like, as of the last 2 weeks. We talked about the Mysterios getting paid last week. We'll talk about Horsewoman getting paid this week. So I think that Cody, Seth, Becky, we're gonna be hearing about them re-ing up pretty soon as well. But we got another super chat donation, and it's a big one, Krssi Love. Thank you so much, Shay Nasty.
Wow, thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, good sir. He says, happy holidays, y'all. My gift to you for always putting on great shows. Also, if Nana stops dancing for Swerve, Jay White should take his place. 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you.
I like that idea.
Jay White would be a great backup singer for the next performance that Nana wants to do for the entrance.
I agree. He has all the steps. He has it down pat. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's too good with it. He's too good, and he's got the facial expressions as well. We got Vala B saying yes, Jay White doing the Swerve dance. We also got Vala B with another message here, as he's been a member for 6 months, one of our longest members here, pretty much since we started our membership here on Tru Heel Heat. Vala B just supports us in every way, whether it be super chats, whether it be Patreon backer, whether it be being a member. Thank you so much, Vala B. You are number one in our hearts when it comes to our supporters here, because you're always here showing love. He says, I don't see Swerve winning this. I got Jay White versus Eddie is my finals. Swerve versus Keith Lee to tie up some loose ends at World's End. It feels like too soon to just say Swerve and Keith Lee off of like one promo is gonna be like, and I think the Gold League final is going to be the main event of Wednesday's show. So it's not a lot of time for Swerve to set up a matchup with Keith Lee for World's End, even though I feel like World's End is gonna have a bunch of matchups being made this final week, because we're only 4 matches in.
Right. So it's gonna be setting a whole bunch of things and shit with, but we'll have 11 by the end of this week coming up.
Knowing AEW, 11 seems like a short bet. Just
saying.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Is anyone going to World's End, guys?
I applied for media and I haven't heard anything back. So
Why
I guess I'm
they
not.
play you like that, son?
I'm not. I guess I'm not going. I guess I'm not. They ain't even use. They usually send me the message to tell me, "Oh, you're not going. We ran out of tickets or some shit." They ain't even send me that this time. They was just like,
Wow.
it was like, nah, we ain't even going to answer him this time, man. Like,
Yeah. You need to get somebody else credentials in. I don't know what to tell you, friend. Like,
hey, I mean, I've been told by our good friends at Fightful that I should apply under them since I do so much work for them. But it's
you
just like,
should.
but it like. If then they accept me, I'm just gonna be like, you're accepting Fightful, you're not accepting me. Because
Got
I've
it.
applied
Give me
under
the
Tru
name.
Heel Heat, I've applied under Wrestle Talk, I've applied under Sports Kita.
And
It's like,
still nothing.
and I know I could count on like one hand the amount of times. It's great. It's usually Grand Slams. Grand Slams they accept me for, but everything else they'd be like,
Grand
nah,
Slam,
fuck you.
that's a regular Wednesday. We need a pay-per-view, friend. Like, come on.
You know, I want to go to a pay-per-view, guys. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. We got Josh saying, I appreciate the super chats for my Christmas bonus. Thank you. We also got, I mean, you might be on to something. We got RP Jesus saying Jimmy keeping them from handing out the media ticket. I really feel like
Oh,
Tony Khan watches AE Ramble and he thinks that I'm Jimmy. I don't know.
probably so. That I didn't think about that. Damn.
I'm not trying to say that Tony Khan thinks all black people look the same, but I'm just
But
saying.
yeah, he affiliates
Yeah.
you because y'all do that show, and then he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to make him come. Let's go."
Yeah. Yeah, we got Frantic World also saying hashtag it's Jimmy. Happy holidays to you too as well. City of Wrestling, our good friends over there. But let's get back into why are you hiding your face now? We got get back into some more news, AEW news outside of Dynamite this week. Yeah, MJF once again in the news as he had an interview with SI Media, and he revealed that his talks of the bidding war of 2024 dying down does not mean his contract is not about to expire. As previously reported, it's rumored that Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, is continuing to push that his AEW contract expires early next year is nothing more than an angle, and it's believed by WWE officials that that MJF actually read up with AEW through 2027. Additionally, it's rumored that there have been zero talks between MJF and WWE. And during a recent interview with Jimmy Trainer for SI Media podcast, the AEW World Champion addressed those recent rumors, claiming he never lied about his contract status. Meanwhile, House of Wrestling also has an update with internal details on WWE's response to MJF's latest comments. Speaking on the earlier report from House of Wrestling, MJF told Trainer, I've never lied. January 1st, 2024, when stuff like that gets leaked out, it makes me laugh because I remember something got leaked out about Cody having secretly re-signed and then he showed up. Somebody got leaked out about, CM Punk and Tony Khan, actually being fine, everything, I think fans leak out things that they want to be true. I love AEW. I want to stay in AEW. After this pay-per-view, it's time to assess the situation from a professional setting. House of Wrestling reports that several people within WWE had a similar reaction to MJF's latest comments as to their feelings before the champion made them. One WWE higher-up responded that MJF's latest comments are a storyline. It's been reported before that MJF never breaks character while doing his media interviews, so it would potentially make sense why he's continuing to push his move to free agency publicly, despite the still unconfirmed reports that he may have re-signed to AEW in a new multi-year deal. Additionally, House of Wrestling notes that another WWE higher-up said that they heard that Freeman re-signed with All Elite Wrestling as early as last year, believing it happened at AEW All Out 2022 when MJF revealed himself as the devil in charge of the firm. The WWE higher-up also said that Freeman is locked in at AEW and got a huge contract with the company when he renegotiated his deal with Tony Khan in 2022. And currently, MJF is still part of the AEW roster and, of course, is scheduled to face Samoa Joe at AEW World's End. So I will Well, Krssi had to leap out for a minute. She got a call, so we'll ask you guys in the chat. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that MJF is actually re-signed to AEW? Do you think that this is all a work, a big storyline from MJF, or do you think that he actually is going to be a free agent come January 1st, which will be a huge piece into the whole free agency and a huge
of this year, 2024?
Yeah, January 1st,
Like
2024.
next week, yeah.
That's what he's saying, that he's a free agent. Do you think that MJF is telling the truth, that he's going to be a free agent on January 4th? Because this would be an all-time fumble by AEW, who have booked the entire company around the guy who's about to be a free agent.
I don't know, man. I think he's trolling us, man. I don't think he's leaving yet. I think he's trolling us.
I think it's a work. I think it's a work. I think it's a work for him to announce it in Long Island.
Right.
At World's End.
Like, you're about to have a big match on your, in your hometown. Like, you're not leaving yet, bro. Like, what are you doing?
And plus, if you have the whole contract thing still up in the air, you're still making it, trying to push that you're going to be a free agent, it makes it more believable that Samoa Joe's going to beat you.
Right.
So I get why he's putting it out there again and starting this up again when really the talk had died down after that recent report. But I honestly, yeah, I'm with a lot of the chat who's saying lies. We got Derek Edmonds who says nobody believed the words out of his mouth. We already know he got new contract last year. We also got Chris who says MJF is staying in AEW. We got Frantic World who says MJF is lying like a politician.
He definitely is.
We got Bell who says, I think MJF staying in AEW, and I also do think it's inevitable to one day, years away, to go to WWE, but it's called raising your stock. His stock is already raised. WWE wants him. It's just about is it the right time for him? He has so much creative freedom. He's been in charge of pretty much all his storylines as world champion. He's not going to get that type of freedom from WWE. So for him right now, I think the best move is him staying in AEW. And he's 27 years old. WWE don't start pushing dudes until they're 40. Ex-LA Knight and Damian Priest. So he's got years. He's got years to kill before WWE is even starting. And our producer message up. WWE's roster is already stacked right now too. Yeah, it's also that as well. And like the guys that are on the come up are 40 years old anyway. So
yeah,
like,
he might as well just stay where he was at. Yep. He might as well stay where he's at. Like
AEW, regardless of how long you're gonna be champion, if the reign's gonna go any longer than after World's End, they're still going to position you as one of their top stars, and you don't always have that peace of mind when you go to WWE.
Correct.
We got a new member. Shay Nasty drops a good super chat donation on us, and then he becomes a member of the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the support. $1 a month, guys. You can hit the join button and become a member for $1 a month. You get exclusive content, in-chat perks like you see right here, like you saw earlier with Vala B. And speaking of super chats, of course, Santa's here. Santa Will Chisholm with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Will.
To do, friend, because our new member has just now surpassed you, friend. I don't know if you like that.
Shay dropped 40 on us, Will. I'm just saying.
And it's only like been 33 minutes, friend.
It's only been 33 minutes. I'm saying,
no pressure.
No pressure. We got Will Chisholm talking about this MJF news, saying, I think it's a work because we don't want another Cody Rhodes thing going on. I'm hoping it's a work because, honestly, like I said, the Tony Khan thing, like this would be an all-time fumble because you have built so much of the company around him. Like no other AEW world champion got to be like the main character like this. The only one that was close to was like Moxley during the pandemic or Omega in 2021. But even them, I think that you have surpassed like the level of dedication and focus that the entire company has on one guy with MJF's AEW world title run. So this would be an all-time fumble, even bigger fumble than putting your trust in David Zaslav. Is putting your trust in somebody who kept telling you, I'm going to be a free agent and I might leave if you don't pay me. Indeed. We got Matt in the chat. Thanks for joining us, good sir. He says MJF probably announcing it in Long Island. That's been my thought process like this entire time, Matt. Like I've just been thinking like it makes sense because of the build for the matchup. Hasn't been the strongest because it hasn't freaking focused on MJF and Samoa Joe. What was great about the build to Grand Slam is that all the focus was on them and not the Devil storyline, which is kind of jumped the shark for a lot of people. So I think that it is an extra element of something to think about as far as who you're predicting is going to win this matchup, with the fact that he's saying, oh, I'm going to be a free agent on January 1st. Maybe I lose this and then they give me time to think about it.
True.
And we got Big Man Dogs. He says, I think it's a work, but I think they're doing it well because it would make sense for the my contract is running up story to die down on TV if he actually might not be re-signing. That is true. That is also true. Got to play devil's advocate as well. There is stuff to think about there. But we'll talk more about MJF and possibly the bidding war of 2024, I guess, on next episode or the week after World's End. We'll see what happens as far as that. But someone we know how ended his AEW journey is CM Punk, and we had more news about Punk and AEW this past week because his attorney and Ace Steel's attorney, Stephen P. New, was appearing on Wrestling Rip Rogers and was asked about if he could provide any details on the NDA that both Ace Steel and CM Punk signed after AEW All Out 2022. Of course, that was the scene of the infamous press conference where CM Punk badmouthed the members of the Elite and then got into the backstage altercation with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. He said, you're never going to hear me or Ace or Punk comment on the particulars. The only thing that I will say is that those are two of the most stand-up guys that I'll ever met in any walk of life, let alone the sport of professional wrestling. And I'll always be here for those guys. That's really all that I can say. On Steele's wife being the only person involved in the brawl out who did not sign an NDA, New said, Punk's obviously happy he's in a good place. Ace is happy he's in a good place, and I'll always be here for those guys. And as Ace said, the only person, and granted, she's not completely objective and unbiased, but the only person not subject to an NDA, who's not subject to confidentiality provisions, is Ace's wife, Lucy. And so, you know, maybe one day she tells the story. He also did confirm that Steel and Punk's NDA about what happened at AEW All Out is for life.
Wait, what?
New world order for life. Yes, the NDA they signed as far as what exactly went down in Punk's locker room during Brawl Out, the NDA they signed is for life. So they can never talk about it as long as they're living.
Damn. So they didn't
they gotta leave their memoirs so when they die, someone can release.
Interesting.
Yo, that's like mob shit, yo.
It is though.
Yo, Tony Khan must have got the NFL lawyers on dude.
He got money though.
He got that money to make them sign them NDAs. Yeah. Like Vince. He got them Vince money to sign them NDAs.
Yeah. They will never expire. First of all, I didn't know NDAs expired. So this whole like last incident happened with Diddy and Krssi. So for them to have a for life NDA, you need a lawyer like that.
Sorry, I had to. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, really? For life? That's crazy. I would have thought they would have moved on by now and they wouldn't have to do all that. But okay, I mean, to each his own. I guess this is a serious matter, ladies and gentlemen, and we're never going to hear anything about it. And apparently, that is the for life probably goes the opposite way with the Elite, and that's why the Elite
probably
y'all made us sign NDAs for life. Why would we want to meet with CM Punk? Like
that's
we never.
True. That's true. That's
we
like
we can't talk about what the real issue is,
which is his ass. Yeah. That's why they don't want to be bothered with him. That's why they don't want to be around him. Hence, that now it makes sense.
That actually does make sense to me now. Now I've made sense of why the Elite didn't want to have like any meetings or like sit down and squash anything. There's like, we got NDAs for life. Like what we need to sit down and talk about, we can't. We legally can't. So like, you guys can sit down and work together, and it's just like Tony Khan's never gonna be that leader who could have convinced them
to
of
like
like,
have a have a
let's
mediation.
put this on the shelf over here because we can't talk about it, and let's talk about how we can make this work in the ring. And I understand what the Young Bucks saying in response. Let's give it 6 months, and in 2 months he was out of the company. So maybe the Young Bucks are right to wait. I don't know. What would have happened? What would have happened if they just jumped into the bed and said we were going to work with CM Punk? Get punched out, get a broken leg in the ring or something? I don't know.
Right. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We got Bella who says, for life? Damn. What happened in that room? Someone find Ace's wife. I have questions. All we know is that someone got bit, a chair got thrown, and punches were thrown. And Kenny Omega did nothing wrong.
I'm about to say Kenny Omega is still a person that's like.
Get well soon, Kenny. We love you, Kenny. We miss you, Kenny. We had not another new report. Last news though, before we get into last night's Rampage and last week's Collision. Yet QT Marshall, he is now officially done with AEW. Fightful Select has a report on an update on the backstage situation in All Elite Wrestling with the recent news of Marshall departing from the company. While Marshall's contract with AEW is due to expire on January 1st, 2024. Fightful's report notes that Marshall has already finished up with the company. AEW sources have reportedly said that Marshall is no longer a presence backstage, and he hasn't been at any shows in weeks. Previously, Marshall gave his notice to the company some months ago, and he also signed a short-term extension to allow him to finish up in the promotion through the end of the year. Additionally, Fightful reports that Marshall is already getting some interest outside of AEW. QT himself reportedly has plans involving the Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling trademark, and Marshall is mainly looking to continue performing in the ring while he's still in his prime. Where do you think QT Marshall will land next? I am going with MLW. MLW just recently got a settlement. You remember the whole MLW WWE lawsuit? It finally got settled out of court.
Okay.
And now Dave Meltzer reports that MLW has more money and they're planning on running more shows and they're planning on getting into the free agency market. And I can see someone, and we've already got a report from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who said that MLW is interested in Marshall for not only him in ring, but also behind the scenes. I just feel like that's
like a producer or like a coach.
Yeah.
Okay. So no Impact for him, basically.
I can see Impact working as well. It just seems MLW is in a place where they can get that guy, and we'll talk about MLW have already made a big move in the WWE free agents that got their 90-day non-compete clause that expired this week.
Okay, cool.
So we shall see. We'll keep you posted on where QT Marshall lands next. We got Power Driver Finisher. He always makes me laugh in the chat. He says, I'm mighty suspicious of this Larry fella. I feel like Larry's got the story. Larry's got the real story, Power Driver. You're absolutely right. We got Frantic World that says, man, so all of the people who said it was the Elite's fault should apologize to them. I mean,
yes.
I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna say. Frantic World says,
I said yes.
Oh, so MLW got money now. They got WWE money now. Yeah, WWE money. They got that settlement money. They got that. They got that hotel worker in Denver when Kobe Bryant comes to visit money. Settlement money. Frantic World, no, he already read that, but Big Man Dog's making me laugh saying, I didn't know QT was still in his prime. Very well said. Very well said. AEW, last night we had AEW Rampage, baby. The show featured El Hijo del Vikingo defeating Black Taurus in a fabulous Lucha Libre showcase main event to retain the AAA Mega Championship. High flying at his best. These two guys tore it up at Final Battle, but I feel like they have the even better match last night. Definitely the last 5 to 10 minutes. Go out of your way to watch it. These two guys are just ready-made opponents for each other. They just have great chemistry every single time out. You had Orange Cassidy beat Rocky Romero in a fun opener to retain the AEW International Championship. The OGK, the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett defeated the Hardys as the Hardys continue to lose. Poor Matt and Jeff. Jeff's upset. Jeff's going to be pissed. And Sky Blue beat Queen Amanyanta with a nice little dragon sleeper as she continues her heel turn. That started on Collision, but we'll start with Collision. Winter is Coming edition with what happened on the AEW Continental Classic. You had Bryan Danielson defeating Brody King and an excellent David versus Goliath battle to earn 3 points and 9 points overall in the Blue League of the AEW Continental Classic. Eddie Kingston beat Daniel Garcia in a great hard-hitting bout between these two guys, while Claudio Castagnoli cheated to beat Andrade El Idolo in a brilliant technical wrestling clash in the other two Blue League matchups in the Continental Classic, which sets up a great scenario on tonight's Collision, where we have a 5-way kind of knot up, depending on how things go, where, well, I'll explain after we talk about the rest of Collision. And this was Collision and AEW's best presentation of women the entire year. 14 women on this show, Miss Krssi Love. 14! A new record! Boom, 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 boom! This is, I said before, AEW's existence has influenced WWE in multiple ways and helped them improve. This was AEW responding to WWE's booking and actually booking women on their show. Tony Khan likes vaginas. Great news. Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale beat Diamante and Mercedes Martinez in a fun Texas street fight. You also had Abaddon beat Jasmine Allura in a second women's match. Yes, 2 women's matches on the show. Post-match, Julia Hart, the TBS champion, came out, leading to a brawl between the two, but Sky Blue came out to officially align with Julia Hart, but their attack on Abaddon was cut off short because of the returning Thunder Rosa. And she's finally back.
She looks amazing, and she's blonde. Look at this blonde. Who's this blonde baddie? I was like, who is this girl?
Cousin Rosa is back. Our cousin here, Tru Heel Heat's favorite. Thunder Rosa is back. How excited are you to see her back? And tonight on Collision, she's back in the ring. She teams up with Abaddon to verse the spooky bitches of Julia Hart and Sky Blue.
Here for it all. Should be a good one. Her back in the ring. I'm excited to see her.
I am as well.
Shout out to Tony for, and I didn't even really, I noticed it was a lot of, I was like, wait, we have a lot of women. But now that you actually counted, friend. Yes, bravo, Tony. Like, if you could do this on a week-to-week basis, this would be great.
We just need
don't just wait to the end of the damn year.
Just a little bit more. We had I think it was 5 ladies on last night's 1-hour rampage. So we're getting better. Just improvement to be made. It's slow and steady wins the race, I guess, with Tony Khan. I'm gonna praise him for the small steps that we take. We just need more bigger strides in 2024. I shouldn't be mentioning this like it's an aberration, because I feel like it is. I feel like it's an aberration before we go back to what we usually get of one women's match and about 2 women.
We shouldn't talk about it too much, because then we're going to jinx ourselves and it's going to be right. Yeah. You're right. Let's go to the next thing, friend.
Yes. Yeah. I think we talked about it enough. But Thunder Rosa's back. That's all that matters. Thunder Rosa is fucking back, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
We got here Frantic World, who says we got 2 women's matches on Collision, Krssi. Yes, indeed. We got Bell saying correction, Julia and Sky are one half of the spooky bitches. The other half was on SmackDown last night. No, they're charmed. They're witches. They're spooky
bitches
and there's witches. You have to know the difference, Belle. You have to know the difference. Like we don't know if Julia or Sky are witches, so they're just spooky bitches. But we do know that Alba and Isla are witches.
Yes, that is very true.
They have acknowledged that.
True.
You gotta distinguish your bitches from your witches.
That's true. If Sabrina the Teenage Witch didn't teach you anything, I don't know what did.
Sabrina was a witch. Carissa Spains It All was a bitch. That's the difference. Melissa Joan Hart, I don't know. Never met her in real life.
And then you had Charmed.
Charmed. Okay, Hocus Pocus. What witches do you know? Like, I mean, there's only so many witches I can refer to. Bewitched.
Well,
damn, you're young. You're young, Belle. You're very young. I appreciate your youngness. 95. What a year. I was like 7.
Word, son. Like, you young kids, damn, yo.
Young whippersnappers. We got more AEW news to discuss after Collision and Rampage. And definitely, like I said, go out of your way to watch that Vikingo and Taurus match from Rampage. We have news about Mercedes Moné. And Mercedes Moné, we've been talking more about how she connects to WWE news, but we're going to give an update on where she stands with AEW as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling, as a new report has revealed that, as well as some clarity on the reports of WWE's interest in her. Fightful Select had posted a report clearing up a bunch of information around Moné after aggregations of a report that AEW plans around her were no longer active spread some misinformation. The report notes that as of the beginning of December, they were told that the tentative plans originally indicated back around All In for AEW and Mercedes to work together were no longer active, and that the two sides were far apart on terms. It is not clear if the terms is in relation to number dates, the schedule, monetary terms, or creative. It is noted that they have not been told, despite insinuations to the contrary on social media, that the door is closed between them. There was one headline floating around aggregating a Fightful Q&A on the matter that said plans for Mercedes Moné's AEW debut canceled, but there were never been a report that she was going to debut, nor if there were any plans set at all that could be canceled. The report goes on to say that New Japan Pro Wrestling want Mercedes back, but that she is currently not signed to the company. There has been no word to any talks between NJPW and Mercedes. In terms of WWE, there has been some word that WWE is planning on renewing talks with several free agents at the start of 2024. So that's probably why they're re-signing a bunch of their guys that are their people that are supposed to be free agents in 2024, so they can start talking to the people that are from other companies. But there is no word that Moné is among them. The report also notes that they've heard from no one close to the creative team of any plans to prepare for Moné's possible return. Again, despite some rumors on social media to the contrary, WWE has indicated interest in bringing Mercedes back, but that is not anything new. For clarity, as of now, there is no word that WWE is bringing Mercedes Moné back, and Moné last competed, of course, at NJPW Resurgence in May, where she suffered an ankle injury, where she's been out of action ever since then. So I think that's like that was like a clear up of a lot of the news that we've seen, because I saw a bunch of the headlines saying Mercedes Moné AEW debut canceled, and I was like, well, that was a leap. I was like, they pretty much said that they had plans. They weren't active anymore. They didn't say it was like completely canceled.
I think everyone is just so excited and just want her to go back right away. I don't think they're missing. I think they're missing the picture of like why she left and what she wanted to do. And I think she still has time to go back, but she still has other work to do. Just so happened that we had a little monkey wrench thrown into the mix, and she got injured last year. At the beginning of the year. So now she's just living her best life. She can actually do the whole contract, play the game now. She has the ball in her court, so she can do that. But I think people are missing the fact that why she left, and she's very probably hesitant on going back right away.
I think that right now everything's up in the air as far as
Right.
Mercedes Moné. Of course, right now, if you had to put a bet on it, the favorite is WWE because
Right.
they have the money to sign her up. They have the booking. They've been doing so well with the woman as of late since Triple H took over 100% of creativity. And of course, everything's different now for WWE than it was when Mercedes left. So that's another thing that makes WWE the most attractive to fans to say Mercedes going to go back there. But I think that AEW is still an option for her, or
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not an option, you want to use AEW to get as much money from WWE that you possibly can. So I think
I
that
agree. I
she's
agree.
playing the game very well, and we'll talk
Yes.
more about Mercedes Moné as far as her asking price when we get into the WWE news. But we got a super chat donation from, of course, Santa Will Chisholm. He heard the call from Miss Krssi Love. He's showing some love for this holiday season. He says, I did laugh that Sky Blue turned heel a month later when we thought the storyline was over. I legitimately talked about that with Super Guy JJ, Krssi Love, that make no sense. No sense of she said, oh, she's changing. She got hit with the mist. Then she basically did a whole angle where she chose Willow over the mist and the power of the mist and went against Julia, faced her in a triple threat at Full Gear. I was like,
And
only
lost.
thing that was missing, yeah, she lost the triple threat, then lost a match to Toni Storm for the women's championship. I was like, the only thing that they should have added was like a backstage segment of Julia approaching Sky Blue after she lost to Timeless Toni Storm. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. I feel like I missed a chapter with how this like came out of nowhere with her aligning with Julia, even though that is the thing I wanted, but you just went about it in a weird way.
Well, we already know like how he is with like storylines. He can give us people that can give good matches, but storylines is still not his forte yet. He's still working. He's still work in progress. And I feel like he needs the right team behind him. But of course, there's not a lot of people that say, no to him. There's a lot of yes people. So unfortunately, we're not going to get those things right away. So you'd be like, this is a little bit too late, but okay. Like,
He doesn't know how to strike when the iron is hot. Always.
Correct.
He doesn't. Sometimes he does, like Jamie Hayter when she got hot, putting the title on her. Acclaimed, he didn't strike when the iron was hot. He striked a couple of weeks after the iron was hot, which was All Out. But yeah, sometimes he knows how to go with the hot hand, but sometimes he doesn't. We got a bunch of people kind of chiming in on the Mercedes Moné thing. We got Belle who says, I do think she's making a stop in TNA with Trinity for a little bit. What do you guys think? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that will take some of the shine away from Trinity.
Because Trinity is
she just
thriving.
feels like this big star who's just going on the run of her life over in Impact. And this week, Impact Wrestling TNA announced she was the knockout of the year, and it's just a breath of fresh air seeing how happy she is over there. And I just feel like the spotlight will be taken away from her if Mercedes even stops it.
I agree with you 100%. Again, they left for a reason. Trinity has been shining. She has been thriving. She's having fun. I think she's found her love for wrestling back again, and she's doing it over there. And if Mercedes comes, it'll kind of like dim that it will overshadow Trinity. It will definitely overshadow her. This is like that's us sending Charlotte over there. Same shit.
It's like, man, I just got tried to get away from y'all. Like, why y'all over here now?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Can I have my own stuff over here, please?
Chris saying Mercedes Moné will go back to WWE at the Royal Rumble. All right,
okay.
That's his prediction. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, if she's in the Royal Rumble, she better win the damn thing, though.
Who was the girl that went against Sky Blue last night?
Queen Amianta.
She was really good.
I like her. I think she needs to get signed.
She needs to get signed. She's tall. She got, if she has the right people, she can go very far. Because I'm looking at her, she has a look to her. She's really pretty. She can wrestle.
And the queen gimmick is good as well because it's so rare we see like a black woman do the queen gimmick. We've seen so many white women do it throughout the years, but never too many black women outside of like Charmel, but never any that was in-ring wrestlers.
Correct. Exactly. I agree. And I think that what she did last night was I want to see more.
I agree. She did really well against Sky Blue. Sky Blue's been improving. She's one of the kind of the people that I'm sure is going to be on our Tru Heel Heat end of year awards, which we'll talk more about that.
Watch out for Queen. I think we're going to see more of her in 2024, guys. Watch out for her. I said it here.
We might have to add people to watch. People to watch.
She's going to be like a Willow. She's going to be coming behind like Willow. She's definitely like someone that you need to watch out for. I feel it. Yep. Thank you.
Look at Val sneaking in here. Val Capone, one of the best ring announcers in Chicago, the independent scene all around. One of the good people that I meet on social media, which is very rare out here. Val, thanks for showing. She's showing some love to the queen. She's right there with you, Krssi Love.
Thank you.
And she said, Amyanta just returned from injury. She is truly fantastic.
Oh, okay. They say she is actually from Africa.
Yeah, African queen.
So she is actually probably an African queen over there, yo. Like
yo, they do be like that. Like maybe they keep it on the low and then it's revealed like, oh no, this is really true.
It's really right, exactly. She's a Nigerian princess from like this tribe somewhere, like you know what I'm saying, like
the WM.
She's from Ghana, like you know.
The MW Network saying Queen Amyata has been in AEW during the dark era. She's been making moves with all Caribbean wrestling, been making waves, just needs the big break. Lee, we spending time talking. You giving us all the information we need. Now we on the bandwagon.
All Caribbean wrestling? Wait, hold on. How do I not know about this? Wait, we have to look.
You just blew Krssi Love's mind right now. MW Network. You need to put her on all Caribbean wrestling. Send her the links, social media.
Oh my God! It's actually the look.
Last week it was mug shotties because of Liv Morgan's mugshot, and this week we got all Caribbean wrestling we're discovering because of Queen Amyata.
Well, I mean, they don't got much on their Twitter page, but I mean,
hey, they got a Twitter page.
They have a Twitter page.
First step. We got another super chat donation. Will said, "Nah, I'm
okay, hold on. So what you did 20. You did 20.
He did 2 5s and 120. He's only 10 away.
$30. $30. All right, okay.
Krssi Love's like, let me pull out my calculator. Yeah, you a little bit short. Santa Will saying, I don't give Tony the pass because the Hangman storyline was great. LWE, I don't know what that is or what that was supposed to be. Britt and Jamie was going to have a storyline, but nothing. Like my mom say, if you try, people can tell if it don't work out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like Britt and Jamie is like one of the biggest missed opportunities in women's wrestling in general, but definitely in AEW history. The fact that he hasn't pulled the trigger on that, where last year it felt like it was ready made to have the trigger pulled on it, especially coming out of AEW All Out. I feel like everything that went down after that show made him forget that he had a ready-made hot feud in the women's division in Jamie and Britt, and he just decided to pair them back up together.
You know, they it's like Russian roulette sometimes, guys. They just be going. Hey, let's put these guys back together. They were not friends, now they're back friends. It's never even story. They're not. WWE is guilty of it too. He's not the only one, not just Tony. A lot of them are very guilty of it.
Indeed. And Val giving us the scoop here. She says she actually is. When I intro her, she has me say African woman wrestler from Ghana.
See what I'm saying? That's what I said. I said she's probably I knew it was either Nigeria or Ghana. I knew it was one of the two.
There you go. We got Frantic World that says I need to look up this wrestling company. MW Network done put everybody on. I love how everybody's just like, oh no, we need to know about this wrestling.
Why do we not know about this? This is an actual thing.
We got Big Man Dogs. He says, I think Britt was pushing for them not to feud. I remember her saying that it's a trope for women to turn on each other or some shit. Yeah, I remember she says something like that, but sometimes you have to realize when the performer doesn't have the right decision, and you need to make the right decision if you're the booker. But speaking of AEW and their women's division, you would think that with AEW, with the women's division and, you know, the good week that they had on Collision, we're seeing so many improved wrestlers like Julia Hart, Sky Blue. You got up and comers like Queen Anienta. You got Trisha Dora, Layla Hirsch. You would think they would want to get every kind of big agent, or at least be in the running for every kind of big agent in women's wrestling. But a new report says no. As previously reported, WWE is said to be interested in Stardom's Julia, who is the current NJPW Strong Women's Champion. She has not signed at this time, and the last update was that she hadn't yet made a decision. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that All Elite Wrestling has never even attempted to sign Julia, and she has had no conversations with them. She is reportedly not considering AEW at all. And it will either be she signs with WWE or she stays in Japan. This is a dumb move. You want to know why this is a dumb move? Because people who don't know, Bushiroad owns both New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom. And as we saw with the whole Will Ospreay situation, Will Ospreay's contract does not expire until February 1st, 2024. New Japan Pro Wrestling and Bushiroad allow Will Ospreay to go out and have talks with different promotions and negotiate with them. But this is now me. This is now not a report. This is now me speculating. I feel Bushiroad and New Japan, the wisest thing they could have done was push Ospreay in the direction of AEW.
Yeah.
Because if he goes to AEW, yes, he signed a big money contract and getting what he wants and what he needs, but AEW gives him the opportunity to still work in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Same thing with what I think is going to go on with Katsuhiko Okada. Like we talked about him being a free agent a couple of weeks back. And the same thing could have been true with Julia. Because if you're Stardom, you want to keep Julia. Julia is your top star. The number one star in Stardom right now is Julia. Regardless of who has the World of Stardom Championship, Suzu Suzuki is going to verse Micah on December 29th for that championship. And we'll talk about that one next week here on the show. But like, whoever is the top star, it does not matter. Whoever holds any championship does not matter. Julia is the number one star in Stardom. And if you're Bushiroad, you would want to push her to a promotion where she can still work with y'all. And the fact that the number one promotion in the U.S., the number two promotion in the U.S., but number one when it comes to she can work in the U.S., make a bunch of money, but also still work in Stardom, is not even having a conversation with her. That is baffling.
They dropped the ball tremendously. Like, you would want her to be at the main place and still work with you guys and still brings people to watch you over there. Come on, guys. This is chess, not checkers. Like, you got to start thinking about the move before the other person.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, get in the running. If you're already hearing the talks of you might have fumbled the whole Mercedes Moné thing, and then you hear that Julia's going to be available, even if you weren't in the talks before, it's now been a month of reports saying that WWE is interested. If you're interested in anybody in free agency, I guarantee you WWE is going to show some interest in them. WWE is going to inquire about having some talks with them. So why aren't you doing the same for the people that WWE is interested in? When it makes more sense for her current home promotion that is allowing her to negotiate with other promotions for her to also talk with y'all, but y'all have to actually extend the offer to talk. It just doesn't make much sense.
I'm about to say, you just took the word out of my mouth. Don't make no sense. Make it make sense, friends. The math not mathing.
Math not mathing at all. Power Driver Finisher says, wait, February 1st? Does that mean Ospreay might be in Texas when AEW is in Texas? Give me the date, Power Driver Finisher, because there might be a chance. But I know he's finished up with his New Japan dates through January. We got Val chiming in as well, saying Julia is a huge miss if AEW isn't trying to step up. She is insanely talented and could immediately elevate the game for everyone. Julia is like when Thunder Rosa came in and kind of elevated the in-ring work of the company. And imagine a Julia versus Thunder Rosa match. Imagine a Julia and Tony Storm, who has such a history in Stardom, but you get to see it in an AEW ring, that matchup. Come on, man. Come on, man. Jamie Hayter versus Julia? That can save children.
Not save children.
That can feed babies. What are we doing? Tony, I'm available. You can hire me. I'm available. I'm putting it out there. You watching. You gotta be watching. That's why you never accept one of my media passes. You gotta be watching. Hire me. We got another super chat donation from Santa Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will Chisholm. And he's like, I told you, Krssi, I'm coming back hard in the streets. He says, maybe Julia don't want to talk to AEW for some reason. I understand, but still, that's not what the report is, Will. The report is that AEW has not attempted to talk to Julia. It isn't that Julia doesn't want to talk to AEW. It's that AEW has made no attempt to talk to Julia. That's what I read the report as. If that maybe was even slightly true, then I feel like that would have been the report. That Julia doesn't want to talk to AEW. If she's going to leave Stardom, she would go to WWE. It would be worded like that. The way this is worded, it reads as AEW don't even try. We got Bell says, and this is why I side eye TK when it comes to women. I don't blame you. Dedrin saying, isn't Julia good friends with Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Io Sky? Yes, she is. But I will say one thing. It's great that Kairi went back and wrestled with her friends. But like, not a lot of people have been mentioning how much WWE fumbled this whole reintroduction of Kairi Sane, where she's been back for like a month, but it feels like she's just been here all year.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't. There's no newness to Kairi anymore. I feel like she was gone for 3 years, but she came back, and after like 2 weeks, it felt like she never left. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It feels more like a bad thing, though. It feels like the freshness and the newness went away real fast with her because they put her with Damage Control, then immediately made the angle where she joined Damage Control kind of not as important because the next show Asuka joined Damage Control, and then they paired them up as a tag team, and they're putting them in the women's tag team division, which is not the greatest to be in. So yeah, I feel like a month I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, oh, you remember when Kairi was new? And oh yeah, that was the beginning of November. It's like, ooh. We got another super chat donation from Santa Will Chisholm. Thank you so much. We got Will Chisholm saying, SP3, we know Britt not having Mercedes and Julia take her spot. Yeah. She probably like ripping out checks out of Tony Khan's book. Like scratching out and like checking his mail and opening the envelope and then resealing it, and then like the zeros that he's offering Julia, she's like, and like changing the address so it doesn't even get to her, so it looks like AEW doesn't want to talk with her. Yeah, that's what Britt's doing. That's what Britt's doing on the low low. On the low low. I see you, Britt. I see you. We got Val who says, to be fair, good friends doesn't matter when paychecks are involved. Great point. Especially when wrestling has a sometimes limited timeline for a career. Unfortunately, if not everyone has a lengthy career. This is very true. Very true. You can't worry about wanting to work at the same place as your friends. You got to worry about what place is going to give you the most bag. And what we're saying is that AEW should be offering Julia the bag. But that's not the only woman that we got to talk about here as far as AEW. In a post on Twitter, CJ Perry revealed that she missed Saturday night Friday night, CMLL show and Saturday's AEW Collision as she was in the hospital. Perry noted that she had an infection in her finger and that moved up her arm and forcing her to be hospitalized. She wrote #CMLL, please keep in your prayers. I'm at the ER at VPH Cares. The infection from my small finger has gone up my arm. I am so sorry. I had to miss last night and at AEW tonight. I look forward to debuting in Mexico with at Andrade El Idolo. Good luck to B Miro and my client at Andrade El Idolo on #AEW Collision and #AEW Continental Classic. Perry then posted to Twitter on Monday to note that the infection had worsened and she will undergo surgery in the evening. She required surgery on Monday, which was a success, and in a post on Instagram announced that she is doing better and is heading home, and she posted photos and videos of her time in the hospital, but I decided not to share those.
Yo, I'm about to say, did you see it? Because that shit was nasty.
Not want to get anyone sick, and I got sick when I looked at those pictures.
And however they digged her, and it was from a splinter she had.
Not pretty, not good.
It was bad. It was really, really bad.
Ooh, thinking about it.
Okay.
Right.
Next topic.
Next topic. Finally, the last thing before we get out of the TK verse.
You're right.
I need her to stop posting her finger. Let's go. That's wild. Last thing before we get out of the TK verse, ROH TV, the show featured Tony Khan himself announcing the new Ring of Honor World Television Women's World Television Championship, a secondary women's championship for Ring of Honor, which has featured a lot more women's wrestling than we typically see on a TK run promotion. So ladies like Trisha Dora and Layla Hirsch and Rachel Ellering and Billy Stark's going to be in the running for this new title, as well as Taya Valkyrie, who just got to Ring of Honor, and Nyla Rose, who was used at Ring of Honor Final Battle as well. The show featured also, you had Athena picking up a win over Maya World in a pretty good 5-minute bout. El Hijo del Vikingo and Commander picked up the win in the main event over Gringo Loco and Jack Cartwheel in a fun Lucha Libre based matchup. Dante Martin picked up his first singles win since his return in a solid bout against Lee Johnson, and the rest of the light skin coalition, Action Andretti and Darius Martin defeated the Outrunners and the Infantry in a 3-way matchup. I call them the Legion of Light Skin or the light skin coalition.
That is so funny. I love it.
Hey, gotta love them light skins. Gotta go love them.
The beige gang.
The beige gang. The beige gang. The beige beige gang. The beige beige gang. Put it on a t-shirt. Sell it. Hotcakes. Let's go into the WWE verse now, as we had WWE SmackDown last night. Miss Krssi Love, the show featured the phenomenal AJ Styles. He had his return promo where he this the lone wolf AJ Styles from TNA 2013.
Yes, I was told. Yep.
He had his return promo where he stated he wanted Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, which LA Knight and Randy Orton interrupted to say they also wanted this. This led to GM Nick Aldis making a triple threat match between all three for New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown on January 6th. We had Roman backstage. He had a confrontation with Nick Aldis where he told them he didn't like his decision, but Nick Aldis did not back down. I really enjoyed that one. And then you have the main event where AJ Styles defeated Solo Sikoa via disqualification in the main event due to interference from Reigns. But you had Randy Orton come down to make the save, but then Jimmy Uso come down to make it 3-on-2 until LA Knight came down to make the save for the babyfaces to stand tall. But of course, the babyfaces couldn't get along and they started brawling with one another to close the show.
Can we get LA Knight the right Timberlands because he keeps wearing the wrong ones?
Wrong Timbo.
That's not the right Tims. That's not the right ones that you're supposed to wear. If you're from New York, you know what I'm talking about.
Kevin Owens defeated Carmelo Hayes in a very good matchup.
This was really good.
While Santos Escobar got some new recruits in his own version of the LWO.
I'm about to say the same thing. Would we just have LWO 2.0? Like,
He got Angel Garza and Alberto Del Carrillo to help him defeat Bobby Lashley as both Santos and KO make the United States Championship Tournament Finals in 2 weeks at New Year's Revolution SmackDown. That's going to be a very good matchup, very interesting matchup for sure. You also had Dragon Lee defeated Butch in a banger to retain the NXT North American title. And meanwhile, Karrion Kross had an interesting vignette, his second vignette in the number of weeks, where him and Scarlett tease the return of the authors of Pain and Paul Ellering. And then finally you had Michin. She picked up a huge win, pinning the WWE Women's Champion Io Sky in an 8-woman tag Holiday Havoc matchup to give Michin, Bianca Belair, Shotzi, and Zelina Vega the win over Damage Control with a big assist from the returning Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. So, and that sets up Michin versus Io Sky on the New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown. So a lot of building to that show. You had Aldis and Roman confrontation. What did you think about last night's SmackDown? What stood out the most for you?
That this was pre-recorded and no one changed their outfits. Which is fine.
It's like y'all can't come up with 2 different outfits. Like,
I mean, he could have changed his jacket. Like, once I see Nick Aldis, I was like, wait, ain't that the same jacket he had? Like, he had that on last week. I'm like, what's happening? And then I was like, I had Roman there two Fridays in a row. Nah, son, nah.
Gotta be tape. He had 2 Fridays in a row. This ain't WrestleMania season.
And then that part, and then the crowd was just like, probably like by 8:30, I was like, okay, yeah, they're just like dead at this point. Like,
they were dead in that first matchup.
That's
like,
what
they
I'm saying.
Did not respond to anything in that Holiday Havoc match.
Yes,
until,
with the girls,
until they started using the Holiday weapons.
Right. Once they start opening up the gift boxes, that's when they was like, yeah.
And they didn't even respond to the first couple of boxes they opened either.
They got excited once they saw Isla and what's the other one name?
Isla and Alba. Which that don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry.
Right. It didn't.
That don't make no sense to me.
I was happy to see them, but
I'm happy they're back on TV, but it was like, okay, so did they attack them because they said they're going after the women's tag team titles?
Right.
So, but if that's the reason, why they didn't just attack the women's tag team champions? I don't know. Maybe that could kind of beat the middleman, get the middleman out the way. You could have just went to the champions. I'm very confused. Talking about Ring of Honor, we got Val saying Ring of Honor is the freaking best. She says, this is why I don't hate on TK for how he handles women's wrestling. ROH is absolute proof that he knows how to book and book it well. I blame the network at AEW. That is true. Okay. He's always been saying that the network is like a reason why we only get one women's matchup, or he only gives a certain amount of time to women's wrestling. But last week, AEW spent more percentage of their time on women's wrestling than WWE did.
That's true. You have to, yes, we can remember that he does book the ROH stuff. I forget that all the time. And we know they're like Impact, where they have like one of the best women's rosters, you know what I'm saying? Like going and like doing things. So, okay, yeah, I forget the networks have to say and like what they want shown on TV too. Fuck. Okay, TK, fine.
He's like, give you this one, fine. Brooklyn Bleak saying the House of Beige is on the rise, it seems.
I like that one. The Beige Boys. Beige Rage.
Big Man Dog says, it's crazy how much more watchable WWE becomes just from Roman being there. I love that Roman is there, but my dude, Roman, you my homie. I'm just going to tell you. When you're there, I need you to pay attention. Yeah. Because the backstage segment he had before the Nick Aldis one, it starts with Jimmy Uso talking in chat saying, you got to run those plays to Solo in the back. And then they pan over to Roman and Paul Heyman. And he says, Paul, wise man, who's the SmackDown general manager? I was like, my dude, you were here. You've been here since he got his job. It's not like you've been gone since he got his job. You've done multiple segments with him. How do you not know who
with
he
Nick
is?
Aldis though?
Yes. He had that whole segment where Cody and him did the stare down and Nick Aldis got in between them. And then he did a contract signing. He did a contract signing before Crown Jewel with LA
Knight. Yes,
Aldis
you're right.
there. Like he did not take any time to ask Nick Aldis his name during any of those segments.
That's true. That's very true. Okay, well, his defense, he wasn't formally introduced.
That's what I'm saying. Pay attention, yo. Pay attention, dog. Why you here? Like you only here limited time, so pay attention while you here. We got another super chat donation from, of course, Santa Will Chisholm. He says the best wrestling retcon since WWE act like WCW didn't make Rey Mysterio take off his mask. Yo, Karrion Kross's retcon on that video package was chef's kiss, Krssi Love. Oh my God.
Let's see what happens with that do with him.
You have not booked this man right for a whole year. Yet in one video package, you made him look like one of the most impactful guys in WWE because everyone he's feuded with, their babyface characters didn't work and were forced to turn heel after feuding with him. So it makes it seem like he's the reason why they had to turn heel. I love the whole explanation. Like I gave them the hourglass to the bloodline to let them know that their impending implosion was coming. I took Drew's peace of mind. So now he's gone over the edge. I took away Ray's patience, so he hit his son in front of his mother. and then I took Shinsuke Nakamura's honor just for fun. And look what's happened to him now. I was like, yo, that was great retconning.
That is actually really good. I didn't pay attention. I mean, I heard him, but I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Karrion Kross. Yeah.
Karrion Kross.
Whatever. Like, damn, I'm sorry, my bad, Karrion Kross. I'll pay more attention next time. And when you're right, you're right. You did do all of those things, but you still are a loser. And it's tragic. Let's see what happens.
I really like this segment, but I won't front. Like, I don't know if this is gonna get over once it's in front of the people, especially if it's a group with him and the Authors of Pain.
Right.
Paul. I'm happy Paul Ellering got a job again, but like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk more about the Authors of Pain in a bit here. Val saying, I've always heard stories that the network didn't want more than a singles women's match, but now we're getting 3 segments at times. Yeah, yo, hey, we slow and steady makes the race, Tony. We here for you. We ruin you on. Let's make it to the women's wrestling buffet. Come on, let's give us all the women's wrestling.
Buffet.
We need it all. We need it all. Come on, y'all. Come on, Triple H eating right now. We need you to eat too, TK. We got Bell saying, Krssi, you were just vacationing on the island of relevancy. Talk to the tribal chief, please.
Okay, first of all, friends, I come to work more than he do. Okay, thank you. He doesn't we haven't seen him for months. Like, at least do once a month. I feel like that's
well y'all schedule kind of line up because he was here 2 weeks in a row. You're here 2 weeks in a row.
First of all, that was pre-tape, so technically it was only 1 week.
Got me there. You got me there. Someone who won't be here for a little bit is Charlotte Flair. We got an update on her injury. A new report had details on the injury that Charlotte Flair suffered on WWE SmackDown earlier this month. As previously reported, Flair suffered a knee injury during her match with Asuka on the December 8th episode of SmackDown, and she is expected to be out of action for 9 months. According to PW Insider, Flair suffered a torn ACL, a torn MCL, and a torn meniscus when she fell from the top rope. It is believed, though not yet confirmed, that she also suffered a strain to the neck. Flair will be having surgery as soon as it can be scheduled. PW Insider then reported that, according to sources in WWE, Flair is scheduled to undergo the surgery in early January. If she is indeed out for 9 months, that would put her return at October. In some better Charlotte news, according to Sean Rossap of Fightful Select, Flair agreed to a contract extension with WWE. It's believed to be a multi-year deal. The news was something that WWE Hall of Famer Medusa has said on her podcast recently, but not confirmed until now. Flair's deal is the first since the TKO merger, as it got done before Rey and Dominic Mysterio re-signed with the company, and Flair signed for a huge money increase compared to her previous deal, with a travel bus included, and that is believed to be one of the highest paid deals to a woman in WWE history.
What? All right, and you get your own bus, sis? Look at you.
On a similar note, someone else who is close in relation to Charlotte Flair, PW Insider reports that Bayley has also re-upped with WWE, signing a new multi-year contract with the company. The news comes just 2 days after it was reported that Flair signed a new contract. It looks like this is part of WWE's new efforts to lock up their top superstars to new long-term contracts, and the company is reportedly looking to avoid their top talents becoming free agents. Rey and Dominic Mysterio also recently signed new multi-year deals with the company. So Flair and Bayley re-upped with their contract. But first, let's talk about Charlotte Flair's injury. Damn, like when you heard all of that, I was like, torn ACL, torn MCL. I don't know about 9 months. That sounds like a year.
Sounds like at least like you. It looks like you're doing Randy Orton numbers for sure.
It's looking like she's
maybe
longer, like all of 2024.
I especially if she didn't have the surgery yet. Yeah, it's over, son. It's over. Well, not over for her, but I mean, like, we're not gonna see it to 2025.
Yeah,
and that sucks. Yeah, I was like, damn, like.
Because I feel like it might be good for her career as far as like people will miss her, and
I agree.
Like, that I think that will be helpful for her, and hopefully they have like a concrete story when she comes back. Now that she's signed one of the biggest, highest paid deals that they've ever given a woman, do you think that Charlotte is worthy of that? I do. I mean,
definitely think she is. She's worth it.
Our good friend Jeremy Lambert, I believe, was supposed to join us today, but he's not feeling well. I believe his wife messaged me to tell me that he's still asleep right now. But he mentioned this on In the Weeds, where he talked about like Charlotte. He believes that Charlotte's a top 5 worker in the world, top 5 worker in the company for sure, out of the women. I think that as well.
I absolutely agree with it 100%.
There's some people that actually believe that other people are better than Charlotte. I'm honestly, like, I feel like Becky is the only person on the WWE roster as far as the women's roster that's better in the ring than Charlotte Flair. That's only one person. It is Becky. That's it.
I agree.
I'm glad we're in the same.
Dude, I think we're on the same. There's levels to this.
Yes.
When you look at the levels of like their workmanship, they can carry matches. They can make you look good. If you can do those things, then you are considered one of the best of the world. And those two women can definitely do that for sure.
Yeah. And it's only
might not take that much bumps, but it's fine.
I also was like, it made me figure out, like, talking about that. And I was in the chat on In the Week. I think it was In the Weeds, or it was the Spotlight over on Fightful with Jeremy. And I was talking about, like, WWE right now with their women's roster, they have about 6 women who can lead other ladies to great matches. So when you don't have one of those 6 women in the matches somewhat come off weaker than the other matches. Like, you can still have a good match, but you won't have a great match without one of these 6 ladies. And the 6 ladies that I said can lead matches were, I believe, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Io, Asuka, and Natalya. That's it. That's it. Like, literally. No, Bianca can't lead a match. Who would she lead a match? Who has she led to a great match? Like I thought Bianca feels further along than someone like Rhea. I feel like Bianca's further along in the process than Rhea, but both of them are top stars. Don't get me wrong. They're top stars. If you said who are the top stars in the women's division, then Bianca and Rhea would be the first names that I would mention. But as far as in the ring leading a matchup, they've never led anyone to a great matchup. Like
Got it.
Rhea, the most Rhea's done as far as leading someone to a great matchup is what she did with Raquel in NXT. But we saw this year that you tried to do it on the main roster, it didn't work out as well. So
you right.
and that made me realize, actually realizing that made me realize what's the issue with Rhea Ripley's title reign is that she's not faced any of these women. Like she only faced Natty, the six of the six women that I mentioned that can lead someone to a good match. She versed that lady, and then the first time they faced each other, she beat her in 30 seconds. And
That's
then the next
true.
time they faced each other, it was just on TV. It was a really good matchup, but I would say that Rhea Ripley has had a near long year title reign, and her best match was the first match where she won the title.
Yeah. Which was what, WrestleMania. And that was how many months ago? Okay, when you're right, friend.
I don't want to be right. But I'm just saying, WWE, you should probably put Rhea in with one of those girls. I'm just saying. Those are the ladies that are going to help Rhea to get another great matchup under her belt during this reign. So hopefully we get to Becky at WrestleMania sooner rather than later. We got Val in the chat again, and she says, Charlotte is actually my favorite wrestler. Typically, that shocks people since I'm such a lady mark for indie wrestling and Joshi. But nope, the queen.
The queen.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this on the screen long enough for Romeo to take a picture of it, because Romeo's gonna frame this. Romeo is our resident Charlotte fan here, Val. So he is now. You are now best friends. You just became best friends.
True. Very true.
We got Val also saying, I'm so sad about Charlotte. Thankfully, she is in fantastic shape, that she could recover well and likely quicker than most, since she is amazing. Yes, I do think so too. We got Derek, who says she still travels to CMLL to support her husband. Yeah, footage of her on crutches in the crowd at CMLL in Arena, Mexico were shown on social media this week. That's love. That's true.
That's love right there, right? You know, like I got on she probably flew private, but whatever. That's not here nor there.
With a boot on.
Like there's no TSA for her. But listen, hey, do what you gotta do. Then that's love. Like you have to support your man, because most likely he's gonna have to take off some time to help her out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's got, so that's why he's getting it all in now. And he's gonna have to be home to help her recuperate, like at least a month and a half or so. Like
he just did 5 straight matches back to back weeks, so he's gonna need some rest too after what he's been through
that's what
in the Continental Classic.
Exactly, he's getting them all in now, and especially if she's going in January, like he has to get these things done. That's on his his contracted for.
We got other WWE news, but we're in relation to, like we talked about Krssi Love, we talked about Charlotte, talked about Bayley re-signing, and we said we are going to talk more about this lady, Mercedes Moné, because a new report has some details on Mercedes Moné's asking price for a new deal. Like we talked about, working plans for AEW and Moné to work together are no longer active. She is not currently signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling, so WWE has become the favorite to get her under a contract. Fightful reports that, according to sources in the industry, Moné's asking price was above what Charlotte Flair is said to have received in her new deal with WWE. To be clear, there's no word on whether Moné's asking price was a factor in her not being a part of AEW's plans. The original report noted that Moné and AEW were far apart on terms, but it is not known whether those terms are in relation to number, dates, schedule, monetary terms, or creative. There's also been no word that the door is closed between those two signs, but man, yo, Mercedes, I feel
give me that money.
I feel that with the report that Charlotte got one of the highest paid deals, I'm thinking like she's making between 3 to 5 million. 3 to 5 million. That's like what Roman and Brock were making a couple of years ago, which they are probably in like the $10 million range, both of those guys now. And I think Cody, which we'll talk about in a bit here, he's going to be joining them in that range. So I would say 5 million. I think that's what Charlotte is getting. So the fact that Mercedes asking for more,
So if
She
Charlotte
deserves every dime. Every dime.
I mean, you give her the money. Show me the money. If they gave Charlotte 5, then give me 8 to 9. I don't need 10, but I need more than homegirl.
I need more than homegirl over here. Like give me more than her. I beat her for what? How many titles? So that's how many million I want more than her.
Who main event? I mean, I didn't win the Royal Rumble yet, but I have main evented WrestleMania. I've won titles. So, show me the money.
Show me the money.
That's it.
That's what we about here. That's what we're about. I mean, I'm very interested to find out what that amount is. What that amount is. I believe, and Bell saying, I think all 4 horsewomen are worth the money, to be honest. Talking about the four horsewomen, Becky Lynch this week said in an interview that she has no plans to leave WWE, and that at the end of her contract she plans to re-sign. She wants to stay with WWE because WWE is her home, which echoes what her husband has been saying.
Can we just call what it is? Like, these people are like, say, like, i.e. The Undertaker. These people are going to live and breathe and stay at this company forever. They don't want to go anywhere else, and that's perfectly fine. That's okay. I don't think you should shame them for wanting to stay at a place where they have been treated like royalty from the moment well, not the moment, but you know what I mean. They've been treated like the big dogs from like ever. Now, Becky maybe had to work her way, but her husband, on the other hand, was given the silver platter.
Yeah, he's been in a good position, even though he had to be in a work study program and he had to train the guy who became the guy above him. It's not right. It's not right.
Listen,
I'm a Seth Rollins apologist, and I'm not going to be dealing with all the slander y'all be giving Seth Rollins.
Okay, that's fine.
AJ Styles, like we said,
you can still be number 2 and still get paid a lot.
Hey, he's number 4 now. AJ Styles returned on last week's episode of SmackDown after being absent since September 22nd. While he did initially attack the Bloodline, he also went after LA Knight. While this would make him seem that he's turning heel, Fightful Select reports that may not be the case. WWE sources noted that it may not be a full heel turn, and Styles' justification is going to be, well, his actions are going to be justified. Another source said that the story will be a choose your own adventure, and it was added that plans could eventually change, and Styles will have an in-ring segment on last night's SmackDown, which we saw, where he explained that he's not going to let anyone jump him in the line to get to Roman Reigns. That's why he attacked LA Knight, which didn't make too much sense. But like we said earlier, Karrion Kross had that vignette on last night's show, teasing the return of the Authors of Pain. And we know this because reports had circulated through the week that the Authors of Pain return to WWE TV is planned to happen soon. Fightful Select reports that there is a working plan to have them return to TV soon, and the plan as of now is to have them appear on SmackDown, though that is not finalized. It was reported at the start of the year that WWE was interested in having them come back. A report in August said that they had been signed for a while, and the report notes that Paul Ellering has been expected to join the two on TV. Fightful put out a further report and an update saying that the Authors of Pain have reportedly been signed for over a year now. PW Insider then reported that the two will return on the New Year's Revolution episode of SmackDown, which takes place on January 5th. So Authors of Pain are back. You got them back in the tag team division. You got Angel Garza and Alberto Carrillo joining it back up on the SmackDown brand with Santos Escobar. You got Pretty Deadly around. You got.
Are we gonna split up these tag titles now? Like, I mean,
that's what I was gonna ask you. Do you think it's about time that they split up the tag team titles?
They should have been pulled the trigger on these things. Like, come on now, like.
Street Profits floundering.
Poor things. And I was like, didn't Angelo wear that outfit last week? And I was like, oh, because it's recorded. At least at least Montez changed his at least to a sweater. The other one just kept it on because I'm like, He ain't got no suits. This not looking right. As y'all supposed to be looking like, money and profitable things like that. But whatever. But yeah, the Street Profits the people that are tag teams are really, it's a disservice to them. Sorry.
Yeah, it just doesn't make too much sense, especially, it's good to have, if you have like a team like the Judgment Day, to have them on both shows because they're one of your top factions, but it also would be nice if you had separate tag team titles and we can see kind of these other teams get the opportunity. The reason why they split up the tag team titles, split up women's titles initially during the draft back in 2016 was to give other people the opportunity. Becky Lynch became the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion because she had the opportunity to do so. The Usos went on their whole run of the Uso Penitentiary, day one-ish, all that stuff. That started because of the splitting of tag team titles. American Alpha got a big push during that time as well. So yeah, I think it is about time. It's already in 2024.
It's been about time. So, yep.
Just make new titles though. I hate
I've
sucks.
They only just changed the colors because even when they had the black nickel color, like looked like pennies, it was copper. Excuse me. That was hideous too. Tragic. Like those belts been needed a whole revamp a long time ago. They've never been nice. They've always been ugly. But being true WWE people, like they're not going to change them. I mean, maybe they will because they changed the other stuff. So let's see.
We'll see. See what happens. WWE, excuse me. WWE Raw this week. The show featured Gunther with another banger. I know, surprising. Gunther delivered the best Miz match ever, Krssi Love.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, friend.
A tremendous encounter that saw Gunther retain the Intercontinental Championship. Miz put on a great performance as well. Speaking of great performances, the best character in WWE today, Drew McIntyre, cut another masterful, believable promo talking about why he needs to become world champion to Seth Rollins, talking about everything he's lost because he's been away from his family, not being there for his mother dying. He talks about how he relates to Seth because he lives with someone who's going through the same thing that he is. Oh my God, it's powerful stuff. Seth tells Drew that he doesn't hate Drew like he hates CM Punk, but he pities him, which leads to a brawl between the two, with McIntyre attacking Rollins and laying him out standing tall before their day one title match. Speaking of Seth's
too bad he gonna lose though.
Becky Lynch cut another great promo on the show on Nia Jax, setting up their day one matchup, their day one showdown in 2 weeks before Jax laid out Becky with one punch to the back of the head to stand tall. You then had R-Truth beat JD McDonough in a Miracle on 34th Street fight. R-Truth, it was supposed to be a loser leaves Judgment Day matchup, but they reneged. Don't be a renegger. Don't be a renegger.
Can we just give R-Truth his flowers? Like
the best comedy wrestler ever.
But ever. And he's fine with that too, though. That's the thing, though. R-Truth forever. Keep him in a bubble. Like, he's great. And I think he does, like, it's kind of like copied paste with every other faction that he does it with, or every other group every couple of years. And I'm fine with it. And it's fine. Like, he's great at it. Like, I want a t-shirt that had an R-Truth at the bottom, like with the tape. That was amazing. Like, who made that for him? That is awesome.
The rest of the Judgment Day, you had Finn Balor and Damian Priest defeating the Creed brothers in a very good main event to retain the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. So some good wrestling on Raw, the final live episode of Raw of 2023. What did you think about this episode? And of course, Gunther versus Miz. What did you think about that one?
I mean, Gunther versus Miz. I mean, I knew it was going to be great, but I didn't know it was going to be that good, and just like brought out the best of the Miz. And the Miz is considered like a veteran.
Yeah.
Let's just say that right off the bat. Like, the Miz is considered like, whenever they have like a star or someone coming, they call the Miz in as their person to like fight that person or introduce them to the world or feud with them, whatever. For him to do this with Gunther solidifies his role as like who he is.
And I love Gunther giving him credit during an interview this week where he said that outside of the Sheamus feud, the feud that did the most for him was this recent Miz one. Because he's got to show more of his character, he's got to talk more on the mic, and then he just one of the guys that kind of gets criticized for his in-ring work, he just gave him one of his best matches of his career.
Great match. Honorable mention to them for match of the week.
We'll get to that one. As reported last week, WWE is said to be in negotiations with Warner Brothers Discovery, among others, for the media rights for Monday Night Raw.
Still talking about the these deals. Like, get it together. Hurry up. The year's almost over. People got money to be,
We got until like September of 2024 with all this.
What?
WBD currently is the home of All Elite Wrestling, with Dynamite on TBS and Rampage on Collision on TNT. In the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that a deal between WWE and WBD is reportedly absolutely in play, even with recent reports that WBD and Paramount are discussing a merger. Meltzer said that one reason that WBD may prefer WWE to AEW is because the former is the top wrestling company, and this would give them more benefits. However, it would be a question if the cost of acquiring Raw is worth those benefits, especially as WWE would cost them more than AEW. Even if AEW received a huge increase for a rights deal next year, it would still be cheaper than WWE. This is something we're going to be talking about for the next couple of months until a new TV deal starts. Sorry, Krssi Love. It's just going to be that.
I thought we were ready for it to be over and just sign the paper. The ink needs to be, on so it could dry. But okay, I guess not. All right. Well,
not going down. It's not going to end, guys. We're going to keep having about it. It's going to keep being fanning the flames in news. It's just that's what it's going to be. Val saying, I love this about Drew McIntyre is everything. Like I said, the best character.
I think it's great. I really think it is, but I feel like Seth will have this belt till Romania.
Yeah. But I would love for them to have McIntyre win at day one. And then he could lose it at Rumble. I'm fine with that.
Okay,
we need some freshening up of this world.
I really think we do. And then now, like his outfit, I feel like he just got dressed himself. Like he doesn't have the stylist helping him out. I feel like these last few outfits that Seth has been wearing, they look like they're too tight. You're supposed to be obnoxious and it's go with your character, but some of your outfits don't match the character, if that makes sense.
That's fair. That is fair. But WWE, like we said, they re-signed Bayley, re-signed Charlotte, re-signed the Mysterios, and now they have a new target for their re-signing binge. WWE is looking to get Cody Rhodes locked down by re-signing him, according to a new report. As has been reported, the company has re-signed a number of stars as of late, like Charlotte, like Bayley, Rey, and Dominic Mysterio. Fightful Select now reports on Friday that the company has engaged Rhodes in talks about a multi-year extension to his contract. There is no word on terms, but everyone the outlet has spoken to expects Rhodes to get a sizable raise. The extension is said to be a priority of TKO's, and everyone is said to be confident the deal will eventually be done. So I think this is more confirmation that Cody Rhodes initially signed a 3-year deal in 2022, if next year is going to be his final year of his deal, because a lot of people believed it was a 5-year deal, but apparently he only signed for 3 years. It's quite obvious Cody's going to most likely resign.
But say he's another one. He's not. He doesn't have any intentions. He wants to finish the story. He has to get this belt. He's not leaving, and he can do he does. I think he's enjoying being over there.
Yeah,
I think that's just what it is. I think you can see it in his face, even when he talks after every live event show. He's enjoying being there.
He is. And we got Bell who says, damn, WWE spending money like their name is Floyd Mayweather. Yes, indeed.
I mean,
I think Cody about to enter the $10 million frame with Roman and Brock. If he's going to be the guy that beats Roman and is the new top guy, I think he's going to be in their same tax bracket.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, he's selling merch. Like he's one of the top. Like as he should.
Indeed.
Them belts alone is damn near. You know how much one of them belts cost? For an autographed copy of one? For an autographed copy of one.
Very expensive.
I said, no, thank you over here. He can't get that. Mm-mm.
Well, Cody's going to get a big payday, but a lot of the people that got the end of their 90-day non-compete clause this week are also going to be getting some paydays, as December 21st marked the end of the 90-day non-compete clause for the WWE releases from September, and it was a busy week of bookings being announced, but no one was more busier than Mustafa Ali. He is now a free agent, and he was by far the busiest of the new free agents, announcing a world tour that includes appearances in GCW, in Prestige Wrestling, and more. His announcement includes a video which he said, "Esteemed citizens of the world, tonight I stand before you a free man. A man no longer affiliated with his former party, and now I can finally bring forth a proposal that will turn all of our problems into possibilities. You see, our great sport has fallen into the hands of leaders who are corrupt, leaders who are selfish, leaders that kick down the door of opportunity only to shut that door behind them. And now, with righteous anger in my heart, I am here to announce that I am launching a campaign to rid our sport of those corrupt leaders. I will right their wrongs, and I will be the leader that we need, because in Ali we trust."
I mean, they should have. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Not good. Good.
They dropped the ball on this one so badly. Like, and I think I've now become repetitive when I say, when they release people and they're good people, like Ali is a great wrestler, and you never gave him a chance to like talk or do things, he's going to flourish tremendously. And it's so sad because you guys had a diamond in the rough right there.
Didn't appreciate it while you had it.
Didn't appreciate him. Nope.
In the video, when he mentions leaders, there was images shown of Kashika Okada, Alex Shelley, El Hijo del Vikingo, Matt Cardona, Will Ospreay, Speedball Mike Bailey, Zack Sabre Jr., TMDK, and Swerve Strickland. The dates he has already announced for bookings: he's going to be a part of GCW No Comprende versus Gringo Loco on January 12th. He'll be a part of C4 Wrestling, the Revivant on January 19th in Canada. He'll be a part of Progress Wrestling Chapter 160.
Like, look at these posters. Like, who did this? This is amazing.
He'll be a part of Progress Wrestling Chapter 162 against Leon Slater, Light of the Dragon, on January 28th. He'll be a part of Defy Wrestling in Seattle, Washington on February 9th. Dreamwave Wrestling, Run This Town. He'll verse El Hijo del Vikingo, Gringo Loco, and Penta El Zero Mero on February 10th. Prestige Wrestling may have given us the biggest matchup of this world tour, as Prestige Wrestling, A Moment of Violence, will have Speedball Mike Bailey versus Mustafa Ali on February 25th. And Warrior Wrestling announced their Trouble is Brewing event on March 1st with Mustafa Ali versus Trey Miguel of Impact Wrestling. So some huge matches from Mustafa Ali, but he wasn't the only new free agent who was busy. AJ Francis, aka Top Dollar, has popped up in Game Changer Wrestling, appearing at their holiday special to take out Joey Janela. The former Top Dollar showed up in a mask on the show and attacked Janela before revealing himself to the crowd. He then continued the assault. Francis was previously announced for the company's Look at Me Now, Look at Me event on January 26th in Tampa, Florida, and he's going to verse Joey Janela on that event. But maybe the most surprising of all the free agents, the new WWE releases, is then finally there was Matt Riddle. Major League Wrestling has confirmed that Matt Riddle has signed with MLW and will return at Kings of Colosseum, as this man can never escape the bloodline. The event takes place at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia on January 6th, where he will face Bloodline cousin Jacob Fatu. This man stopped feuding with the Bloodline in WWE to feud with the Bloodline in MLW. Matt Riddle will be making his first on-air appearance for MLW on the company's Holiday Rush show on Christmas Eve this Sunday. MLW announced that the WWE alumni will appear on that show. So, man, big news with the free agents. So, are you gonna peg Mustafa Ali the hot girl summer of this free agency based on this first week of all these bookings?
Yep, absolutely. I think he deserves it. He should have it.
He's about to have a hot girl 2024. More like it sounds like.
Right. I'm about to say hot girl start off the year like, right,
Hey, he's not booked for January 13th in New Japan Pro Wrestling if you want to book him for Battle in the Valley. I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. Just gonna put it out there. If you want to book him for maybe Best of Super Juniors, I would love that.
Yeah. That last match with Vikingo and all of them, that seems like that's gonna be a banger.
That's gonna be bonkers. That's gonna be ridiculous. You're gonna have people flying over your head at that show. We got in the chat, we got Frantic World says the free agency are about to go off in 2024. We also got Val Capone saying also the freelance on January 13th and March 1st, Warrior Wrestling. If I can make it work with my spring training, I want to see Val introduce Mustafa Ali at Warrior Wrestling and freelance. Do it. We need to make that happen. Let's make the schedule work around this schedule. Come on, y'all. We got Brooklyn Bleak saying every single one of those Mustafa Ali matches sound amazing. Yes. I didn't even know he was racing Leon Slater at Progress. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a ridiculous match as well. Big Man Dog saying Riddle is a good wrestler, but man's a weirdo. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. You're not wrong here at all. We also got bunch of people excited to see Mustafa Ali. Bell saying if TNA want to get Mustafa Ali for their X division, I also wouldn't be mad.
Wow. Definitely bring back TNA Impact joint. He'd be great there.
Yes. I would love to see it. Love to see it for sure. NXT this week, the last WWE show we got to get to. The show featured an angle. Stupid angle, but an angle. With NXT champion Ilya Dragunov facing Ridge Holland in the main event, which ended.
Get over there. Like, I'm confused. What the hell?
Which ended with Dragunov doing a seizure/concussion injury angle to end the show, which got a polarizing response online. You also had Fallon Henley beat Tiffany Stratton. Post-match, Stratton beat down Henley and poured garbage all over her to set up another rematch. Yeah, Dragon Lee defeated Charlie Dempsey and Joe Coffey in a pretty good triple threat match. A matchup to retain the NXT North American Championship. Post-match, the two-quarter catch club jumped Dragon Lee until the LWOs, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wow, made the save, as it seems. LWOs recruiting Dragon Lee, I guess. I don't know. Weird. I'll take it. I'm fine with it. Hey, the LWO ain't doing nothing on the main roster outside of getting their ass whipped by Santos.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
Santos. In NXT news, someone who might be returning to NXT television just got some good news this week, as William Regal left All Elite Wrestling a year ago, and one of the conditions of his early release was that he couldn't appear on WWE TV for a year. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Regal's non-compete is set to expire soon, leaving him free to appear on WWE programming at any time. When Regal left AEW, he has said that he wasn't going to appear on TV, and Shawn Michaels is the current authority figure on NXT. Nick Aldis was placed into the role for SmackDown, and if WWE had plans for Regal for that spot, Aldis wouldn't have been given the job. Unless he shows up for a cameo or becomes a manager, it's unlikely he'll show up anytime soon. Would you like to see William Regal back on your TV in any role on WWE?
Absolutely. He deserves to be on TV. Like, The time is over now. Let's go.
She's like, just get to it. Like, cut out the middleman. What are we doing here? No, I'm here for William Regal. He's always been one of my favorite like authority figures. I think he's good as a manager as well. He showed that with the Blackpool Combat Club, or just throw him on commentary. Even I
Just
wouldn't
throw him
mind
on.
any.
Yeah, we can definitely trade him from Booker T.
You preaching to the choir with Uncle Tom. I mean Uncle T. Anyway, next up you have some breaking news. Some breaking news that broke just before we went live here on Tru Heel Heat. We mentioned it earlier. I saw a bunch of comments in the chat that I am going to feature now because we finally got to it. In a post on social media, the president of All Japan Pro Wrestling, Fuyata, had a video that he posted online, a special holiday video where he was with some of the talents, and he got a call where he talked about bringing in an assassin that he is trying to make into the Triple Crown champion for January 3rd. And it is apparently he got a call from WWE. He says in the call, hello, WWE. Yes, we are trying to make him the Triple Crown champion. And apparently this is confirmation that WWE, NXT, and All Japan Pro Wrestling will be working together starting in 2024. Yes, the forbidden door has finally been open for WWE in Japan.
Well, okay. Will they let people go through it? Is the question.
I mean,
you
NXT talent, let an NXT talent do it.
You can open the door, but will they let people walk through it? Is the question. Any door could open. Any people could lead you to water. Will you drink it? Just saying.
I mean, I think that is interesting that it's NXT as the initial kind of partnership with All Japan. Who do you see in NXT that they could possibly send over? They don't have any like Japanese, like top line Japanese talent that I would be like, oh yeah, that guy that can go over there. Like when NXT had like your Shinsuke Nakamura or your Kentas or guys like that. I mean, I can see someone like maybe like a Tyler Bates. Someone like that who's like a great worker who can go over there and work a little bit for All Japan.
Maybe Dragon Lee.
Well, Dragon Lee is technically on SmackDown.
True. Okay, fine. What's the other guy that's not he got long, not Tyler Bates. What's the other one? Ilya Dragunov. That's his name.
Well, he's the NXT champion. I wouldn't think they would send the NXT champion over there.
I don't know.
I don't know. Axiom, I'd be down for. Axiom or Nathan Frazier.
Axiom, we could do.
Axiom and Nathan Frazier. I wouldn't mind both of them over there in All Japan. I think they could cook over there. Man, Braun Breaker in All Japan? Give it to me. Inject it in my veins. Baron Corbin, Gable Stevenson, Krssi Love.
Okay,
you're on board for all of this. Gable Stevenson in All Japan Pro. They want Gable Stevenson to get better. Throw him into the deep end of All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
Give me Kento Miyahara versus Von Wagner.
True.
Yuma Ayaki versus Baron Corbin.
I don't know who I know Baron Corbin. I don't know the other person.
Yuma Ayaki is their former Triple Crown champion. The top stars for All Japan Pro Wrestling right now are Yuma Ayaki, Kento Miyahara, who is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and their current Triple Crown champion, which is Nakashima, who used to work for Pro Wrestling Noah, and he's done some matches in New Japan.
Okay.
So they got really good workers. A lot of people feel like All Japan has been like the best book promotion of 2023, and they've really improved their business in Japan. So this could be a good partnership. All I will say is that All Japan, be careful, because every other promotion that has gotten in partnership with WWE, it did not work out too well. Did not. Big Man,
they're no longer in business. Is that what you're saying, friend?
Either no longer in business or not in the same business that they were in.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Big Man Dog saying, bro, I need Triple Crown Baron Corbin. He would be over too. Yes, you got to realize these big men from WWE who are not over, they get over very well in Japan.
Yeah, because they like big guys. American
They
guys.
feel like they're larger than life.
Yeah.
Feel like they're larger than life out there. We got a super chat donation from Santa Will Chisholm. He says, is it true that WWE is working with All Japan? We don't have a lot of information right now, Will, but it seems so. It seems like this video is an indication that we're going to get either a big formal announcement or we're going to see some type of collaboration between the two sides starting in 2024. And it might just be this one event. We saw with WWE working with Pro Wrestling Noah. Shinsuke Nakamura did that one show with Great Muta, and we never saw him again.
Never saw
him again in Japan.
They said we give you one time. That's it.
One time for the one time. That's it. It's enough. Another super chat donation from Santa Will Chisholm. He says, and for all the kids, R-Truth is the first black NWA champion. Let people know. Let the world know. R-Truth. Ron the Truth Killings. Come on, y'all. Ron the Truth. We got, yes.
Will, okay, Will, where do you work?
And are they hiring?
Right. I asked you that last week. You didn't even answer me.
Brooklyn Big talking about the Mustafa Ali matches, saying the Speedball and Trey Miguel matches are going to be sleepers for sure.
Yeah.
Val saying, fun fact, my very first ring announcing match I ever introed was Ali versus Ray Horace in 2016 for AAW. Wow.
Damn,
Yo,
okay.
you must have had the biggest smile on your face when you started seeing Mustafa Ali on 205 Live. Like, you must have been smiling ear to ear, like, yo, that was the first guy I ever announced to the ring. Yo, I could have only imagined that type of being proud of somebody. I gotta strive for that. Val also saying NJPW rules, so I'm definitely interested to see how this pans out. I watched more AJPW than I have in a lot of previous years this year. And like I said, those three top guys are among the best wrestlers in the world. They've had some of the best matches of the year, with Kento Miyahara versus Nakajima being the best of the best. If you're going to watch one match from All Japan Pro Wrestling to kind of get you up to date with what they're doing, watch that Kento Miyahara versus Nakajima matchup, because they're going to be facing for the Triple Crown Championship at All Japan's New Year event coming up next week. So great time to watch it. Watch one of the matches of the year. Get geared up for the rematch. We got Santa Will Chisholm with another super chat donation. He says, I don't know much about All Japan. Do they have a women's division? No. In Japan, the women's divisions are their own companies.
Yeah.
Stardom is their own company, all women. Tokyo Joshi Pro is their own company, all women. Sendai Girl, all women. Like, they have particular promotions that are all women. So All Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, those promotions don't have women's divisions, because a lot of these all male promotions are connected in some way to the all women's promotion. So kind of works like that. And yes, Val letting you know, check out Tokyo Joshi Pro. It is amazing. I agree as well. We got here, Big Man Dog says, if anything, it's just a good way to give NXT guys more experience. Yes, so they work with some of the best wrestlers in the world. I think that's going to be the big benefit to this relationship, is the improvement that we see in the NXT performers that are able to work with All Japan talent. But we got to talk more about Japanese professional wrestling, Krssi Love, because we had some big news, but we had shows this week. We got to get to first. NJPW Road to Tokyo Dome Night 1 and 2 was this week, and it had one of the best trios matches of the year, period, in professional wrestling. Yes, I'm putting it up there. Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tomohiro Ishii. Surprise, surprise, surprise. They delivered another banger as they defeated United Empire's Great Okan, Hanare, and Jeff Cobb in a marvelous trios main event matchup to retain the never open weight 6-man tag team championships, the greatest 6-man tag team champions in New Japan Pro Wrestling history, and the best trio in wrestling today. Tanahashi, Okada, and Ishii. And Tanahashi, we're going to talk more about that, man. Yes, we are. Then you had a whiskey bottle ladder match that Taichi beat Yoshinobu Kanemaru to retain the King of Pro Wrestling 2023 Provisional Championship. Meanwhile, House of Torture beat Master Wato, Tamaki Honma, and Shoto Amino. Post-match, House of Torture jump shooter until Roye Uyoa and Noah's Kaito Kiyomiya.
I don't know how you be saying these people names, son. Like, yo, God bless you.
Roy Uyoa and Noah's Kaito Kiyomiya came out to make the save to align with Shooter against the House of Torture. Then you had night 2, which featured just 5 guys beating Los Ingonables de Japón in a 6-man main event, with Yuya Uemura pinning Yota Tsuji in his biggest win to date. Post-match, Uemura challenged Tsuji to a one-on-one singles match at Wrestle Kingdom, which was made official. Then you had Bullet Club War Dogs beat Catch 2-2 in a coffin match ahead of their Wrestle Kingdom 18 showdown. And Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kashika Okada defeated TMDK's Kosei Fujita and Zack Sabre Jr., while Tomohiro Ishii defeated Calvin Newman in an excellent matchup as well. But, you know, we talked about
that man had him hanging from a dog collar?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yes, he did. That's how the War Dogs are nasty. They're not good people, ladies and gentlemen. They're not good people. I love them, but they're not good people. But I talked about New Japan only to get to the big news. We started off the show with a presidential statement from Sydney Tanahashi, no relation. But that was because the big news from last night, breaking just after SmackDown, or while I was doing a SmackDown podcast, Hiroshi Tanahashi has been named the new president and representative director of New Japan Pro Wrestling, as announced on Friday night. New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that NJPW Star has been named the president and representative director of NJPW following a meeting of the company's board of directors and shareholders. Takiya Abari and Mishaki Nishizawa will be stepping down from their roles of president and representative director and director. Tanahashi has, of course, been a mainstay for New Japan Pro Wrestling and the New Japan Pro Wrestling ring for over the past 2 decades, and is considered one of the greatest New Japan stars in history, as he holds the all-time record for 8 times as IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And this is kind of like him following in the footsteps of one of his mentors, one of the legends of the business. If you weren't aware, New Japan Pro Wrestling was created by a professional wrestler, Antonio Inoki, who passed away last year on October 1st. We did the whole big celebration for him with Wrestle Dream. And then over a year later, after his passing, someone who has always kind of followed in the Inokiism and followed in the traditions that Antonio Inoki has set up is basically a predecessor to him, and now the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. How surprised are you by this news? And what do you think is going to kind of be the reaction? The reaction online from most wrestlers have been very positive, with most wrestlers just very happy for Tanahashi, talking about how Tanahashi has been kind of a person of class and grace to have that role. And he has a degree, so he's
already
qualified than most.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very happy for him. I think they chose the right person that like eats, sleeps, and breathes this industry and knows what to happen. So I think it will be in the right hand. I think they'll see some great things. And like you said, he's following the footsteps of Inoki. So it's like, what better teacher is that?
Yeah, like there's no better teacher than that. He really wants to be Inoki 2.0, and this is like this is just a further step in that, and I love
this. You're right. So
Love to see it. A bunch of comments talking about our new president, President Tanahashi. I want everybody to refer to him, President Tanahashi. Dustin saying, I hope boss man Tanahashi changes a ton of things in New Japan behind the scenes for the better. I hope so too. We got Big Man Does saying President Tanahashi. We got Big Man Does also saying they spent like 30 minutes trying to wash off the alcohol from the KOPW match. Yeah, it was a whiskey bottle ladder match, ladies and gentlemen. That should tell you enough. Destin saying, preach SP3. They are the best trio champions in all of wrestling right now. 100% Tanahashi, Okada, and Ishii. We got Dustin who says Okada versus Young Boys continues, whether it's junior or heavyweight. I agree. We also got Big Man Does. He says that coffin match was funny because the refs had clearly never done it before. That was the first ever coffin match in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. Makes sense. We got Brooklyn Bleak saying, damn, Tanahashi started from the bottom. Now he's on the top for sure. This dude started off in the New Japan dojo. He was a young boy in the dojo, cleaning, washing the drawers of people like Inoki to the president now. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's an amazing story. We got Frantic World. This is Tanahashi about to run wild in New Japan. I hope he's not really going to be Triple H and Hulk Hogan New Japan, because he did say on December 9th he plans on becoming the IWGP heavyweight champion in 2024. And now on December 23rd, he's the president. I'm just saying.
I mean,
just saying.
Don't be surprised if you don't, if you see something like that though, guys. Just saying,
So good question here. Connor saying this is how they keep Okada. Do you think that Tanahashi being in this role will be an incentive for Okada to stay in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Yes.
I think so too. I mean, if anyone can say that they made Okada or helped Okada's career the most, it would be Tanahashi. So I think that Tanahashi would have a lot more confidence in the future of Okada will have a lot more confidence in the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling with Tanahashi at the helm.
Yeah, for sure. And it'll keep him going from, back. He doesn't want to leave anyway, so he can do both AEW and this, and it'll keep him going. He can keep going back and forth.
Exactly. And finally, to end off what we missed, we got some news from TNA as they had a busy week of news being announced. They announced this week that TNA Wrestling will be bringing back the Knockouts Ultimate X matchup at Hard to Kill on January 13th. This is only the second time they've done an Ultimate X match with the Knockouts. Meanwhile, the Rascals have officially re-signed with TNA. Impact announced on Thursday's show that Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz signed new deals with the company. Prior to that, TNA Wrestling announced that independent wrestler Dani Luna had signed a new deal with the company, and she was previously debuted in May against Jody Threat and wrestled Jordan Grace at Turning Point. Luna was previously in WWE with the NXT UK brand before that she was let go when that brand was shut down. On Tuesday, it was announced that Brian Myers has signed a new deal with TNA Wrestling. Myers talked about the deal, and we recently talked to him. See, the streak continues, Krssi Love. I interview people and they get new contracts. You get a whole new bag. Myers said in his interview with Sports Illustrated, this is the most fun I've had in my entire career. The past 3.5 years, it's a perfect fit. I get to be the best version of myself while being a TNA wrestling star. So this decision is pretty easy for me. And then in line with all of that, it seemed like TNA is not done signing big names. In an interview with Busted Open Radio on Monday, Scott D'Amore teased more surprises for TNA Hard to Kill. He said, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have surprises for you, some unexpected things, including we're right there at the goal line of finalizing one of the biggest signings in TNA. I think it's something that is going to shake things up on January 13th. If you've been saying, I'm looking for something different, we're giving you a lot. We have in store for you that night is going to blow your socks off. Dave Meltzer provided an update on D'Amore's comments on Tuesday's Wrestling Observer Radio. According to Meltzer, TNA has earmarked some money to spend on a big free agent to bring to the company next year. Some of the recent released WWE names who will be becoming free agents have become free agents on December 21st, and it remains to be seen who Scott D'Amore has in mind. He noted previously that it's going to be one of the biggest signings in TNA. So I'll ask you, Miss Krssi Love, who do you think is that name? They already announced Okada and Ospreay for their Snake Eyes event. So I don't know if it's going to be either one of those guys who are going to be free agents in 2024. Of course, there's Mercedes Moné, who we've brought up a few times here during this. Julia, who's going to be a free agent as well. There is the WWE free agents that we haven't heard about, like Matt Riddle signed with MLW. Mustafa Ali still out there. Yeah. Shelton Benjamin had a fun 90-day non-compete clause being expired release video where he voiced over Godzilla. That was great. He could be a big name. Dolph Ziggler is kind of considered the biggest name of the release.
He's been very quiet and he hasn't been seen. I mean, he's been seen backstage at a lot of AEW events. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm putting my money on Dolph. Let him shine.
I think Dolph, or I feel Mercedes is the one that fits the build for what he said 100%, and it would be one of the biggest signings in TNA, but Dolph Ziggler seems more believable and likely.
Right. Yeah, because Mercedes is still like in limbo where we still don't know what's happening. You know, at least with Dolph, you know that he wants to work, he's ready to go.
We got Dustin. He says Tada might as well offer Okada a director or higher up role in the company as well. Make him an EVP. Make him an EVP. Come on, Tada. Make Okada EVP. Let's run this place. Connor Smith saying, I wonder how long before they replace Gato.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago. Big Man Dog saying Tanahashiism. Yes. Tanahashiism. Let's do it. I'm following the Tanahashiisms. All right, we've made it to the end of our show and Krssi Love's favorite segment of the show, Match of the Week, where we give you our top 3 to 5 matches from this past week. And of course, it's always a hard job that we do here because there's so much great wrestling going on, ladies and gentlemen. It's very hard to keep up sometimes, I might add, but we do it for you. Coming in, my top 5 this week. Coming in at number 5 for me, I'm going with Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal from Dynamite. Love that matchup. Great matchup. Meant really nothing but a win, and it meant the world to these two guys. And I was completely enamored with it.
And the fact that they are legit friends.
Yes.
They're once
again like they were fighting for Jay.
Correct. Exactly. We've seen this before, and they do it with each other. And I think that they enjoy like bringing the best out of each other. So it just makes it right. That's why, you know.
Number 4 for me, also from Dynamite, I'm going with Switchblade Jay White versus Jon Moxley. Love the finish to the matchup. Just so sudden how he hits the Blade Runner, gets the 1, 2, 3. And I just popped like my favorite team hit a game winner when Jay White won that matchup. I was so excited. Great stuff. Number 3 for me this week. I'm gonna show some love to WWE and go with Kunta versus The Miz.
I know he was gonna. I knew it. Go ahead.
Kunta versus Miz from Raw. I really enjoyed that matchup. One of Miz's best matches of his career. Number 2 for me this week. I gotta go with. It's tough. I'm trying to. All right, number 2. I'm gonna go with from New Japan Pro Wrestling's Road to Tokyo Dome. Okada, Ishii, and Tanahashi versus United Empire. Just a great matchup. And Kurgan Hall is my favorite arena to watch wrestling because those crowds just get you totally into the matchup like you're watching a sporting event. So give it to there. And then number 1 for this week, going all the way back to last Saturday, Collision. Bryan Danielson versus Brody King in the Continental Classic. I love a big man versus a little man, a David versus Goliath, underdog babyface versus monster heel. And this was it done to perfection. And how Danielson broke him down, going after the legs first. And then Brody was just like, no, fuck this. I'm just going to brutalize your eye. I'm just going to bust you open. I'm going to bust you open by throwing my body at you. And then just Bryan having to fight back, fight from underneath, keep fighting and fighting until the end. Love the story they told. My match of the week this week. Krssi Love.
Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe, number 5. Daniel Bryanson, Brody, number 4. Number 3, Jay White, Moxley. Number 2, Gunther, Miz. And number 1 is Swerve versus Roosh. Honorable mention to Vikingo and Taurus from last night's Rampage.
Yeah. I think if it happened on Dynamite, it would have made my list.
Okay.
Fair. Rampage is literally, guys, the last show I watch on Fridays before I do agenda for this show. So,
but
last week they made the list because of that trios matchup. But this week,
that's true.
Honorable
that's why I said honorable mention for them because again, they did their thing yesterday. Well, Friday, whenever it was.
I do like the fact that they're making Rampage the Lucha show, the Lucha Libre show.
And that's fine. I'm here. That's fine.
It's not gonna make a difference on people watching, so just put on good matches. It'll make people watch at least on DVR. Go for it. All right, that's the end of this week's podcast. I thought that was one of our best jobs of getting through everything in a great amount of time. Miss Krssi Love, you got the music. You got people playing saxophone in the background. Go ahead. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media while we get serenade in the background.
My son is practicing his trumpet. But guys, you can follow me. I did cameo yesterday. I filled in for a Queen of the Ring on Know Your Role with Stephanie Hype. So please rewatch that. Go like and subscribe that. Other than that, find us every Saturday, 11:05 a.m. here on Tru Heel Heat, our flagship show, our main show, the show of all shows. Watch it, like, subscribe, do everything. Thank you for your super chats. Everyone have a fantastic holiday with your family. If no one loves you, I love you, and hugs and kisses to all you all. But you can follow me, Krssi Love _1, Tru Heel Krssi Love on Twitter, and or just my plain name, which is Krssi Lynch. Thanks.
Indeed. Yes. Follow her on all the social media platforms and check out her on bodyslam.net from yesterday. You can follow me on the Twitter machines at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship, plus much, much more. And of course, you can get your Tru Heel Heat merchandise, ProWrestlingTees.com, as well as ForYourWear.com. You get all your Tru Heel Heat merch over there, as well as follow us on Twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming. And check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like Rated Raw review from this past Tuesday with me and Romeo talking about Monday Night Raw. That'll be back in 2024. But next week is our final Tru Heel Heat of 2023. We're going to be previewing AEW World's End. We're going to be talking maybe some predictions for 2024. That's what we'll do for next week's show. Besides the news and what we missed, we'll give you predictions. We'll come with our number one prediction for 2024. And then the following week, Miss Krssi Love, we got to get our suits ready, our dresses ready. It's the 7th annual Tru Heel Heat Year-End Awards, January 6th. Join us live for that. And check us out, social media platforms. This weekend, we're going to start the polls. You'll have the form for you to vote on the Tru Heel Heat Year-End Awards on January 6th. But for the trumpet player, our good brothers, good son over there, for Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and thank you so much for what has been honestly the best year ever for Tru Heel Heat.
Yes,
For
yes.
support, everything that we have accomplished, 11,000 subscribers, so many super chats, so many supports, Patreon, Twitch. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you and yours. And we hope that you all have a Merry Christmas and a Merry Krssi miss. For Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 256, New Japan, new president, re-signed spree. We are signing off until next time.